want to check that mic, Bert?
Yeah, can you hear me?
That's good.
All right.
Hey, can you check one of these pills for me?
It might be by the way, it might be the perfect moment to have here. Like literally the perfect moment. Who's that?
Oh, hey, tell Bree at any point in the next couple hours if she wants to come do that review. We're on now. Sure. Anytime. Bye.
Hey, Bert,
Yeah.
are you sponsored by Squarespace this month?
Build It Beautiful.
Well,
Yeah, I'm sponsored by exactly whoever you're fucking sponsored by.
well, no, if we're doing a Swapcast,
No, probably not. But
Okay.
maybe I
Well,
am. I don't know. I like promoting those people that promote all the time. I also like I was telling Chaille in the car. I did a read for Cadillac. One time, yeah, just this new CT6 Cadillac, and then and thinking, just wanting some comic to be like, does he really have fucking Cadillac?
We
as a
did
sponsor?
that one for Subaru or something.
Yeah.
We just
Volvo.
an ad in a newspaper.
Volvo.
I just read the copy.
That's what we did.
And then the next one was Caviar. I did a read for Caviar. And
I think we've done that too for
I
Lumpfish
might have gotten the
Caviar.
idea from you guys.
That's all right.
And Cadillac direct messaged me on Twitter, and they're like, "Hey, we want to get you to a new CT6 set. We'll bring the Caviar." And I was like, "Shut the fuck up!"
That's fucking great.
That's like what happened to you with Popov. Or not.
No.
oh wait, right, that hasn't
All
happened
right,
yet.
let me give you some quick backstory. Who is it? All right, this is not the pills that we just took. You did not.
I did not.
Bert did not. I'm here with Chad, Shank, Chaille, and Bert the Machine Kreischer
Shit.
on the Bertcast and Doug Stanhope Shotclog podcast, Swapcast. Shut that fucking dog up.
This is so surreal. Because this podcast has been like a warm blanket for me lately.
Yeah?
Yeah, getting on the road. One of the things I love about podcasts is you get in bed, you're depressed or whatever, the night's over, you got that serotonin's flooded out of your head, and I put it on my phone, and I just sit there and and listen to you guys talk. And the dogs bark. I've been listening to all of it for like literally the past month that I've been on the road. And so, the reason this happened is because I was like, I'm a grown up. I have some money. I could fly to Bisbee. I could get down here. And I literally invited myself. I said, hey, I texted Chaille first. I go, hey, can I come down like one time this month? And then you replied back, let me know when. And I was like, is Monday too soon? And now I'm here, and it's fucking bizarre. Chad, you look exactly like what you sound like.
Chad's the only guy we have to ask to come over.
He looks exactly what he sounds like. Exactly. Fucking bizarre. And then to come in here and have you guys go, where did that Ritalin go? Which one are the blue ones?
Well, some guy stopped by last
Adderall
week.
Jack.
Adderall Jack, and I forget his wife's name. But they're fans. They were passing through. I'm like, all right, we're just fucking around anyway. And he brought a bunch of Adderall and other pills. But I remember we took the blue ones that day. This guy's actually in the acknowledgments of my book. Because as they were sitting there and they were thumbing through their handful of different pills they gave us, I get an email saying, hey, I need the acknowledgments for the book. I can't find them. And it's because I never sent them. That's why you can't find them. Just thank yous at the end of the book. So I just typed up real quick. All right, I'm drunk and I forgot to write up the thank yous. So I'll start with thanking the guy from the publishing company that reminded me. Brian Hennigan for hounding me to do the book. Someone else. And Adderall Jack, who just walked in the door with a handful of pills. Something to that effect. So that's all my acknowledgments in my book are.
It's been weird hearing you talk about your book, because when you did my podcast last, I was going through what you're going through now. Like the marketing of it. Oh, it bothered the living shit out of me.
I went back and I listened to 4 hours of us together. And laughed my balls off a few times.
The best podcast I've ever had. It's the best podcast. I say that to everyone. I go, this is one of my best podcasts. And they go, what's the best one you ever had? I go, Stanhope. And they're like, what made it so great? I go, he rolled over. He came in hot. He had been partying with Marilyn Manson. and we started drinking at like 2. Drank until dinner time, had dinner with my kids, and then did another podcast and drank until dark. And then you're like, I'm going to go check on bingo. That was the best podcast I've ever done. My kids to this day talk about that fucking podcast.
Mustard Hands. I forgot all about Mustard Hands.
Did you ever hear about Mustard Hands?
No, I don't know.
It's a game my kids play. You take mustard, This is one of my favorite moments
For the record, I listened to that 4 hours. I skipped through the stories. I know what I'm about to say, and I didn't do solid 4 hours. I just didn't want to repeat a bunch of shit from our last podcast, so I had to remember. And now we're going to go right into repeating shit from the last podcast.
There we go. Mustard hands. But the moment of this that makes this so fucking hilarious is that I don't talk to my kids like they're kids. I talk to them like they're people. And I'm not that guy that's like, hey, baby, how was your day? And so...
but does Georgia know about Santa Claus yet?
Oh, that was the looming fucking question over dinner. Is Doug was like, you guys still believe in Santa Claus? And the girl, I'm like, Doug, this is a game changer.
I go, I'm always one drink away from telling your kids the truth. So she's like 11 now, probably?
She's 11. She still believes. We're thinking about introducing her to Christianity. You like Santa Claus so much, you should try out God. So we play this game called Mustard Hands, where you take mustard, you put it under the table, and you either squirt it in your hands or you don't squirt it in your hands, and you rub it in your hands. Basically, it's a game to piss off my wife, because mustard stains like a bitch. And so we do it, pass it around. Isla starts it. She's sitting next to Doug. She puts it in her hands or doesn't, passes it to Doug. Goes all the way around. It gets back to Isla. Everyone either does it, and Isla goes, wait, can I change mine? And Doug goes, literally like he's talking to someone at a fucking crap stable. Clearly you didn't put mustard in your hands. She goes, you don't know that. And he goes, Isla, there's no way you can't get it back in the bottle. And she goes, maybe I can. And he goes, no, okay, yeah, go ahead, change yours, but I know what yours is. She goes, not now, you don't. And he's like, Isla, I know what yours is. And so I'm watching my 9-year-old debate with Doug and then put some mustard up. And he goes, let's start with Isla. She's got mustard in her hands. And she's like, oh, how did you know? And then my wife was just pissed the whole time. She's like, wow, this fucking stains. Why are we doing this?
That was the most fun I had. I had a fucking just such an open man crush on you. Like, I don't know. Like, there's a Louis episode where he tries to have a new friend, even though he's 40-something years old. And it's like, I don't know. I'm not going to be back in L.A., but I want to hang out at Bert's all the time now.
It was one of the best. It was, for me, it was different because I think I came into it the same way I'm coming into this podcast. Is that like, I've been listening a lot. So like, even shit, how fucking geeked out was I on the ride?
Yeah, you. No offense.
No, none taken.
I'm completely flattered, but you are what I would term a super fan.
Yeah, like, but that's the truth. It's like I did the same thing to Rogan, not knowing Rogan at all. When I first met Rogan, I'd been listening to his podcast, and he's like, "Hey, you want to do my podcast?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, this isn't going to come out well because I've been listening. I know a lot about you that you don't know that I know." So, like, I showed up at his house, and you know Rogan. You know how this does not pan out. I just walked up to his door. He opens the door, and I was like, hi, Joe. I need to see your dogs. I need to see your deprivation tank, your pool table, and your wife, and then I'll be ready to go. And he was like, and that's so not his personality, but he was, like, caught off guard. He's like, oh, okay. And he took me, introduced me to the dogs, the
I
deprivation.
can see him do that.
Yeah.
Okay. That monkey walk he does.
And then literally we get done. He's like, did you want to get high, too? I was like, yep. All right, that's good. We're good. God.
You always forget something on the list.
Yeah.
I wanted to say up front, because I brought up Adderall Jack, not just because that's what made us, hey, we should be podcasting this, but it's a weird guy that came through with pills, but a guy emailed me today where I'm just not in the mood. But I go, hey, Kreischer's going to be here. Let's take a risk. I'm driving from L.A. to Boston. I want to drop off some artwork for bingo and some quaaludes.
Quaaludes?
Yes.
For reals?
When's he show up? I've always wanted to take a quaalude.
I've never even seen one.
I don't know.
Quaaludes are like the virgin of pills. I didn't think they existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some Google searching on those. I'm not just taking those.
We got Kenny on research.
I trust these guys with the little blue ones. They say 2. I'd say 2, but
Quaaludes?
I don't know
They had
Quaalude
one
guy.
in the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're real. I'm being serious. I don't think they're real.
Props from fucking that stock movie.
I got some Quaaludes.
And the Wolf of Wall
Wolf
Street.
of Wall Street props.
Quaaludes were like the shit, bro.
Michael Jackson couldn't even get Quaaludes. That's how fucking rare.
I'm picturing him all weather beaten and small. He's been in his pockets over.
Like this pill right here. Hold on, I know I got one of them somewhere.
In your little stash pocket.
Oh, here.
Kenny's Google searching them right now to see if they're worth it.
They're like this one. Anyone want to roll the dice on what that is?
chunks missing.
There's not an edge on that. It's all
There's
rounded.
no edge. It's rounded out. That is a
That's
Valium.
That's Bear aspirin, dude.
I keep a Valium in there just in case.
Yeah, it's always good to have Xanax is mine, but I don't know if you can get Valium across the border.
Valium, same as Flexerol. It's just a muscle relaxant. I kind of got addicted to pills a little bit for a period when I fell off a waterfall, and I was eating Valium and Vicodin, and they started me off with put me on Dilaudid, which is heroin.
Yeah, that was Lenny Bruce's drug of choice.
Wasn't Andy on that one time at the desert?
Andy's been on everything.
Well, I mean, it was a weird thing. That was even that one was like, whoa, what did you do?
I remember when he tried to snort a morphine or no, what's the oxy, but they have a new one that gets gummy if you try to crush it up.
Yeah.
And he still tried to snort it even though it had turned to gum.
You can't tell me what to do, pill.
So this is going to sound really crazy. So when you guys do the podcast, the last one, the ones you're doing the rap party, Brett was on it, right?
Brett Erickson.
Yeah, was he sitting right here?
Yeah, probably.
So funny. It sounds like he's sitting in a different room. When you listen to the podcast, it sounds like he's sitting off to the corner, chiming in.
I got a couple tweets about that.
No, not volume level. I meant it doesn't sound like it's all right here. It sounds like he's off to the corner,
I know what he's talking about. Sometimes Brett is very courteous. If he's not starting out, salud.
Yeah,
if he doesn't start out on the mic, he will wait to be asked to come over. So he might say something. I think it was because he was talking about Squarespace and he yelled something from the corner because it was directed at him. But what Doug's talking about is Brett had been drinking quite a bit and he was really hot on the mic, and that's what the emails were. Yeah. We couldn't control that. He was just out of fucking control.
Yeah.
But two separate things.
In and out. I have no idea what those podcasts were. I knew the parts we had to cut.
That's your next album.
No.
Just all the fucking the regrettables and just all the things.
It's really just shit. Someone has a fucking day job and they mentioned a name. It's not stuff you'd care about as a listener, but someone was fucked up.
The Manson. We'll have bits and pieces of that
eventually.
I feel like this isn't going to be a perfect experience if I don't say something really regrettable.
Awesome.
And be like, hey, I know you guys have that buyer's remorse clause. I'm at the airport, Doug, at that sushi spot you eat at.
No, you're a fucking American guy. I forgot about that. So you're A gates. B gates have sushi. You get some shitty Mexican food at A gates.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Although American flies direct to Los Angeles and
Delta's
has a first
been
class.
doing it now, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Delta just started doing that, but they just fuck it. This is dumb stuff.
No, it's not. This is what I love. This is when the things I love about a podcast are when things spiral into minutia, and I love when the recording started and no one knows it started, and you hear the mics getting moved around. I love that part of a podcast. I think I would like to go out on a limb and say I'm probably a podcast aficionado. I can tell you what makes good podcasts.
Well, the other stuff we were talking about, besides about both of the podcasts, yours and ours, it was interesting. You definitely have an idea of where things are going. You have opinions on the way things are done. It was very interesting talking to you about that.
Well, I think what's beautiful about this podcast is it is this is going to sound a little hacky, but or that I'm saying it's hacky, but it's not. But it's a morning zoo format. But it's with people with really interesting, eccentric viewpoints. Imagine if the boy in the cage or whatever that guy was in the zoo really was a guy with some serious depression issues, but was fucking hilarious. That's Chad. When you talk about stuff about depression stuff you go through, don't think that doesn't resonate with me entirely. But there's parts of this podcast that are not explained to the listener. I really didn't understand people just show up here whenever the fuck they want. I didn't understand I walk into a bar. I didn't know that existed.
The best bar in business.
I didn't realize it was an actual
people we
fucking
know.
compound.
For the record, people we know walk in.
I didn't realize it was an actual fucking compound.
Yeah.
I walked in and I was I literally did not film because I was nah, people don't deserve to know this. You got to come here to find this out.
You walk past the blow-up doll sitting in the lawn chairs without filming them?
I got that on film. Oh, thank you. Oh, we don't need to film anymore. The next thing I'm going to try to get you onto is a vlog.
You were telling me.
I think that's, especially for you, especially for a place like this, it's such a visual format that in a weird way, like you definitely need to have video for this podcast.
We're getting it. We've been working on it.
It's literally, it could just be a GoPro in that corner with a wide shot.
Well, no, look at the camera he uses, Doug. Right there. That's his camera for his vlog.
This is a fantastic camera. It's a Canon G7X, and it literally, it shoots beautifully. The audio is amazing, and it has a flip up screen so you can see yourself.
Oh wow! I didn't even see that part.
I would never assume that you would ever be doing selfies and walking around like that. But
Chaille will.
Fuck yes. And dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm saying this right now, and I want everyone to hammer Doug on Twitter about this. I need to see. I need to see. The first vlog is you guys going to Daytona.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
It's not even a good one, man. That is fucking legendary.
By the way, I booked my tickets. I'll be there. I get in 2 nights early and stay 2 days to recover.
We'll be there. Tracy and I will be there on the 22nd.
It's Junior Stopka, Andy Andrist, and Sean Rouse on the road.
The Kobe Bryant of fucking chaos.
Without a handler.
Sean Rouse.
No sober influence to stop them.
And we're podcasting the whole time.
And we're podcasting the whole time. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, dude, I'll even take it this far. I want to set you guys up with my buddy Tupat, who lives out in New Smyrna, and just have like a day adventure. He's got these electronic surfboards.
How far is that from?
It's right there. It's right there where we're at.
I can set you up with that guy, and he gets down. You like this guy, and but that is like, I mean, for everyone listening, I think everyone would agree with me as a fan, as someone who's also doing it, dude, to watch you guys go down to Daytona and then just kind of hang out and watch 3 fantastic comics, but 3 flawed individuals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And just watch you guys have that weekend. That's what those vlogs, that kid Fousey Tube I was talking about. I don't want to see him talk about his new shoes. I want to see you guys go to fucking Daytona. I want to see you guys get loose. That's what I want. Like
Bert even said he's never seen Junior do a set.
Never seen him do set.
It's he's actually, of the 3, he's probably the most stable one,
which is scary.
Yeah,
that's a weird statement to make. Junior is the rudder on this ship.
You know what I didn't do is I didn't buy tickets to the show. I got the hotel. I'm saying we should buy tickets before we keep pimping it out.
Well, it's gonna sell out.
Yeah, it's like what's that, like 120 seats?
What?
Maybe
half that. Maybe it is a small room. It's It's an old hotel bar that they blocked off part of the view, which is how they sell that place, with a stage.
Dude, that place looks. I kind of want to do a set there.
Well, you can make one phone call.
Yeah, like I mean, those kind of clubs they're. I feel like they're doing it to all the funny bones. They're making like 500 seaters.
Over 300 is the minimum for the improvs. They don't. The old ones are at 300 or less, but all the new ones are up around 400.
Going through that podcast we did a couple of years ago, I found out we made definite plans. We were going to do some stuff.
Yeah,
I got it on tape.
I think Bert should do a show at the Royale.
I do it. I do it in
absolutely.
Heartbeat. That was the initial planning of this trip down here. Is because I'm doing an hour special in Irvine on April 1st. If anyone wants tickets, I've probably already mentioned it at the beginning of the podcast, but Irvine, I'm doing an hour special for Showtime. So my initial thought was I want to come do a theater in Tucson, do a club in Tucson, and then see if I can get stand-up to come out and kind of vet my set and take a look at it and tell me what's kind of, you have those lazy, I've realized in doing this, I have a lot of laziness in my act. And so that was my initial thought, and I didn't have the weekend right before the hour booked, so I was like, "Oh, I'll book it then." And then I got it booked, and I started looking, and I was like, "Well, fuck, I don't have." And I was like, "I'll just go hang out." And so, but that was the initial thought.
Was that stage right there?
That's what I was going to say.
So that's the stage.
That's the stage.
Nah, I'm not doing my hour here, guys.
No, at the Royale.
So I have 2 kids.
We could clear that, put the low tables in. By the end of this podcast, we could have this place sold out.
Full.
Sold out. What was this place before?
It was
lesser version of this.
Yeah, it had 3 TVs over there and no bar and just.
Well, Super Shawnee built this. Before that, it was basically it was in It was falling in on itself to where they had wires holding up the walls.
When I first
it
moved
was
here,
nothing.
Really?
It was a
Just some
garage
old
that was
shed.
dilapidated.
So I had that torn down, and then I was going to put in one of those tough shed things from a Home Depot. And Shawnee goes, I could probably build you the same thing for the same amount of money. And I was like, all right. But then we drank together. He built everything, the fence. He was building the fence at the time around. And so we'd talk about this tough shed thing he was going to build, but we'd start drinking, and then I'd make it bigger. Well, we could put a deck on top.
Oh, this is fun. So wait, can we do? Have you ever covered like these are the things I'm curious about, and then not to be on your podcast and ask you and interview you, but like, so what? How was I was talking to Chaille about this? Why Bisbee? Like, I want to know the real like.
I had a gig in Scottsdale, just a Friday, Saturday, and then I started El Paso like the Wednesday. So I had 3 days to kill, and it's only, I think, a 4.5 hour drive. So we're just killing time on the back roads. And my wife at the time said, I have a friend in Bisbee looking at the road atlas. So we'll go to Bisbee. And you come through that tunnel, and you're like, holy fuck, what is this?
Yeah.
So I just kept coming back all the time when I was driving in and out of LA. If I had time off between gigs or just downtime, I'd come here and just hang out. And at one point, I just said, fuck LA, I'm moving. Didn't know where. Our lease was up. Like, why not Bisbee?
Did you buy all this at once, or was this all one?
It was just the main house and the little guest house.
Yeah.
But it's all,
But property line to property line, it was all one purchase.
It was all one purchase? Because I look at this as we were driving through, and he's like, Greg's like, that one's for sale. I started going, I could buy that. I literally could buy that. And then I go, why not? Why not have a sabbatical? Like a place where you just go in, you're like, hey guys, dad's off the road, but he's not coming home yet. He's detoxing.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
Oh, all right, good. As long as you threw that in there.
There's
Really.
There's also a high season here where you could actually Airbnb, where there are people that you saw the tourists downtown when we drove through. There's plenty of opportunity.
Be one of those guys so bad in the like knee-high white socks with the fat wife.
That was through Tombstone.
In the relaxed culottes. Just this is the okay. I made him drive me through Tombstone.
Yeah,
I was like
Tombstone
fuck this.
Canyon in Old.
No, Tombstone.
No, through legit Tombstone.
You go to the
fucking totally into it.
Bro,
I'm like, this will take
out
2
like
minutes.
Jeff Tate, like I was.
My brother brought his fucking kids here once and stopped in Tombstone, and they wouldn't take their faces out of their phones. They could give a shit less. I was so disappointed.
you serious?
Yeah.
They've never seen that movie. God damn it, that's such a great movie.
I felt like a dick because I was like, it would take 15 minutes to walk down the street and he'd probably have a boner the whole time. But I go, we got to get back and podcast. So I didn't say anything. Sorry, I should have.
No.
But
sadly, I'm not. That's the real traveler I am. Is that I'm the one that's like, got it.
you
Cool.
were so excited that I know you would have loved to have seen, like, just retracing Jeff Tate's steps.
No. Just,
Did we, the one we did we do that one as a Swapcast too? The last time?
No,
Okay. All right.
no.
No, but he's been talking about it since then. He loves the idea.
What's that?
The Swapcast idea.
Oh, dude, I've pimped out Swapcasts everywhere. I just did it with Pete Holmes.
Oh,
Pete
cool.
Holmes at the very end of the podcast goes, hey man, this is a great podcast. Do you mind if I release it on mine also?
Doesn't
and I go,
make sense not to.
And I literally said that's called Doug Stanhope Swapcast.
No, that's just called Swapcast.
You own the title of that because you're the first one I ever heard bring it up, and I was like, great idea. Did it with Jesse May Peluso. I'm doing it with Esther Koo. Anytime you have someone on, you're like, fuck, why not?
You're both there.
Yeah. And
I
all the people-
love Jessie May on a podcast, but she brings her boyfriend, and that kind of ruins it.
Do you know who else? The only time I've ever heard of that is Pete Johansson. Pete Johansson?
Yeah.
What about his name? He's a comic, right?
Yeah.
Lives in Britain.
He's Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian,
Yeah.
right? Brothers Gorgeous used to date Cindy Crawford. Cindy Crawford.
All right.
Yeah. Has a
Wow. Well, hold on. I have to reconnect what just happened in my head.
I heard this is probably 4 years ago. Rogan's doing a podcast with him, and I hear him go, and this is like, he's like, Pete's on his way, he's running a little late, and he's like, I hope he doesn't bring his fucking girlfriend. And on the podcast, And then you hear them walk in, and he's like, "Oh, hi. Oh, it's good to meet you." No, Jesse making...
We were talking about that, how nobody knows anything about Rogan's wife. But when I was with the last gal I was with, Renee, he invited me to the UFC. And I go, yeah, we'll come. He's like, wait, who's we? I go, me and Renee. And he's like, you don't want to bring a chick to this. You don't bring a chick to this. Okay, got it.
I went to, this is one of those regrettable things. Earmark this. He one night we're hanging out and he's like, hey, you and the girls come to my kid's birthday party. And we're like, okay. So, I was like, okay. So I bring Leanne and the girls. Leanne falls in love with Rogan's wife, sees her chicken coop. Hence now we have a chicken coop. But the best part about this, and this is so Joe, and I don't think that anyone ever, I don't think anyone ever sees this part of him, is like, he's Joe 100% of the time. He doesn't turn it off. And so at a kid's birthday party, he's just dialed in. Like, you can see him, like, looking around. And then he just grabs me. He's like, you want to go to the kitchen with me? And you go to the kitchen. Joe's on a huge drinker, but he just breaks open a beer and he's like, I don't know any of these fucking people. But he's like, so he can't, he's just that fucking guy all the time. I don't know how I'm more your lifestyle. Like, I like coming in, seeing you smoking a cigarette, drinking a drink, going, I'm waiting for hockey to come on.
Oh, yeah, that was great at your place.
Oh.
You had when I listened back to it, you had I have that same dog bed or something.
Yeah.
Like, this is just like being at home.
Is this the man cave?
Yeah.
The DIY man cave?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
It's
Someone built that for you?
DIY Networks did, yeah. It was better than anything I could afford.
Yeah.
The entire building?
No. It was a woodworking shop that was really cool. I wish
Separate from the house.
Separate from the house. It was a garage.
Detached garage.
Cut in thirds. So like one was just big enough for a car, and then one would be technically big enough for two cars, and that was a woodworking shop. But what we lost out of that was that this old man that owned the house before us had not only, obviously if you're into woodworking, you probably make all your woodworking things to hold your woodworking tools. So he had made all these woodworking tool holders that were it was so badass. Like we was all left in there, and I think we kept one of them.
It's like pegboard with the hooks and the outline around it, or something.
Almost imagine if the guy had found coke and just had a chisel and wood.
Oh wow!
And it just was so. It was so cool. My wife's like a redneck, and that's her. Any rednecks like things you make with their hands, and so she was like, she kept one thing, but so DIY came in, kind of just tore it out, opened up the backyard to it, and then built it. $180,000. I don't have that to do my renovation. We're rebuilding our house. We're not even putting that in our house.
From the last podcast, he's like, yeah, the dog broke its hip, but we're not going to remodel the kitchen anyway. We're putting the money into the dog's hip.
Ballpark how much I spent on this fucking dog.
For that one procedure?
Just on this one dog.
I said $5,000 on the
I'm going higher.
Oh, $5,000.
Just for the hip. Because my cat,
Tracy says 10.
had a hip busted at the same time, and I spent $3,500 on that hip.
Yeah?
I think you're at 17.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh wow, it's more than that.
Oh, really? You guys want to do another round?
Don't go. Oh no.
32? Keep going, guys.
Hang on,
52.
I bought the house Chaille lives in for $59.
It was about
like
to
your
be,
dog, it was a fixer-upper.
My dog got diabetes and I shot it. What's wrong with you guys?
It's curable too. It's manageable.
It's manageable. Just takes a little extra effort.
Listen. He lived a long time.
A pack of deli meat and a bullet. That's cheap.
I'd much rather have a house in Bisbee than that dog.
Do you have either right now?
We still have the dog.
Oh, you still have the dog.
She limps.
Use it as a down payment. Oh, you don't know what this dog is worth. Before you balk. let me just say right now, this is the Doug Stanhope Bert Swapcast Part 1.
It is going to be a long night.
Yeah, it is.
I can feel it.
I hope so.
I love it. I needed to get through yesterday to get here. Like the stuff of like the minutia of traveling could fucking overwhelm me, man. Like we just start thinking like, I gotta fucking drive here and then drive back and then get in a car. I gotta get up early.
And then get to LA, and just flying in and out of LAX itself is a problem.
Dude, it's almost like another travel day. You know what I was thinking? Here's what I'm thinking. We get Bill Burr to buy a place in Bisbee, right? I'm being serious.
I'm with you.
We all.
I don't think he has that kind of sense of humor.
Or patience. All he has to do is get in that one gal's lane at Safeway once.
And
he'll leave.
Bill Burr, before he was anyone, went up to play Coots when I used to play Coots all the time in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And he went up there and stayed in one of those band houses. I don't know. Did he stay in one?
He didn't stay in one of those.
I didn't.
Rickety as shit, but they're so fucking awful. Worse than any comedy condo ever. Yeah. That it's hilarious to me. And he motherfucked me for booking him up there. Like cigarette burns in the top of the TV, like carpet, like warped. They wouldn't let Ralphie May stay in it because the floors were so wobbly that they thought he'd break through the floors. So they actually gave him a hotel.
I've been to condos where I was like, Ralphie has sat on this couch.
The cushions still haven't come back.
Dude, Tempe, the fucking Tempe Improv. I've been there when I was like, Ralphie's been here recently. Ralphie or Gabe, somebody was been here.
It's still hot.
Oh. Here's my pitch, though. We get Bill Burr to buy a house in Bisbee, right? All right. Then we group fund a helicopter for him. So we get
we get a pilot. Go ahead.
He's a helicopter pilot.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And so he just takes helicopter. He drives us in from Tucson. We all meet up. Bill Burr flies us in a chopper into Tucson. Into Bisbee. Back out to Tucson. It's fucking perfect. Bill would love that. Nothing but open area.
He would love that till he got here.
We should call him.
My clothes smell like fucking cigarette smoke. I can't fucking take it.
Yeah.
Podcast. Sorry. No, we have a pilot. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I've been interested. I've been listening to you guys talk about it. It's so funny. I heard you guys talking about writing it, and then the next one was the rap party.
No. We have an actual airplane pilot.
Oh, I'm talking about the Johnny Depp pilot.
No.
You can fly that thing?
That's why I was with you. Yeah. I didn't know where he was going.
We have
a pilot.
I guess this a fan that's a pilot from Tucson. He flies right into Bisbee.
Those never fucking work.
What?
Dude, you know how many times I've been drunk at a fucking bar and I was like, I gotta get to New York, snowstorm's coming in. One dude's like, I can fucking fly you. And then you're like, all right. So you get up early and you get all your fucking bags in the car and they go there and it can't fucking, it started snowing. That's how you fucking die.
I wouldn't get in the plane. He offered to give us a ride. He flew down. He first emailed me a picture of my house aerial shot, and everything else is just dead and brown in this entire neighborhood except for this fucking carnival from the sky. It's brilliant.
This clown wart.
Second time it came down.
By the way, this has Bingo's thumbprint all over it. I fucking walked in and I was like, holy shit. But it's so funny because on the outside, it's that patinaed.
It's a corrugated tin.
It looks so
rusted.
Yeah, and then you come in and it's just so alive. You're like, oh, fuck. Like, normally this would give me an anxiety attack, but I fucking walked in and it's like warm.
It certainly belies what's on the other side of the corrugated tin.
That actually, this is how cool the fucking town is cops came yesterday. Cop came, and because he heard Bingo and I broke up, he pulled over a friend of ours for doing 39 and a 30, let her out of the ticket, but she started chatting with him because he did some work on the TV pilot, just showed up to make a presence, and she's gabbed with him. Next thing I know, he's like, hey, can I stop by for a sec? So the cop shows up, the police sergeant shows up, said, listen, I heard you had a breakup. from pulling someone over.
Shut up.
He heard I had a breakup and he wanted to offer support.
Fucking black people are getting shot, and this guy's checking on Doug's breakup. Fucking talking about bedside manner.
No, he went and shot a black guy later.
It all evens out.
Are you in a relationship? Are you in a relationship?
This is for my friend who's hurting.
But this is the guy, the first time we met him was the first time we had the cops called on us was we had a band playing out there on the patio, and afterwards there's a bunch of comics here. It was Super Bowl weekend several years ago, and Christine Levine is on stage talking about how blown out her vagina is after having 3 kids, and I'm like a nervous club owner in the back because I go, all my neighbors can hear this. This
It's a valley right here. You can hear across.
Oh,
You
really?
can hear kitchen conversations from a block away.
Oh, really?
And we're not that quiet.
We're podcasting live to the neighbors right now.
They can hear every word of this. They don't need the internet.
Enter what?
So I'm going, fuck. And within 8 minutes, cop shows up out front. I'm like, every headlight that goes by, and someone signals me that cops are coming. So I went out to, I go, hey, sorry, is a noise complaint? It's only like 9 o'clock at night, 8:30 or something. He goes, actually, it's a language complaint. What do you got going on? But you can't see in here from the street.
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
see the gate. So that he opens up the gates. There's like 75 people out listening to her out in the yard on stage. Everyone's staring at him.
It's a language complaint because she's talking about her blown out pussy.
Yeah, it looks like it swallowed a dog that chewed its way out. And I'm going, oh, we're going to get bad comment cards. But that was the same cop. And then the next year he came for a noise complaint the night before. Oh, that was the point. He walked in, and now he looks like a dick because he just walked into 75 people staring at him as well as someone on stage staring at him.
Yeah.
Like he just walked into the opera farting and didn't know it was already started.
Just like that.
So everyone looks at him and he goes, all right, first of all, why weren't we invited? And I go, this is the fucking best cops ever.
What's the whole deal with bringing drugs down here?
Oh, yeah.
No
he
problem
had
getting
questions.
them down here.
It's getting them out.
Yep.
That's the fucking... Man, Arizona's one of those states that's still a little bit in the dark ages when it comes to marijuana, I feel. Like, all I know is I'm afraid that if I did anything, I would end up in a fucking pink jumpsuit in the fucking, in the shoe program with a bunch of brothers, like just for a fucking vape pen, you know?
It's always good to be paranoid. Becker always
Healthy-
said, better
healthy
to be
paranoia.
paranoid and wrong than not paranoid and wrong.
Yeah.
Here in Bisbee, no one really gives a fuck. And they do have medicinal here, but...
Do they really?
Yeah, when
They-
you're going
they
back
have
through
cards.
the borders, that's feds, and they don't respect that law.
Yeah.
There was a dog at the Border Patrol on Tombstone going out to the airport this morning. First one in 3 passes through there, by the way.
There was one. I went out Saturday. There was one. I had a vape pen in my pocket. They waved me through like a white guy before they even saw me
Nothing.
coming.
Really?
Like,
Wait,
How did you end up in Bisbee?
We moved here after I got out of the military, just to move back to Arizona, and Sierra Vista is one of the fastest growing areas, so we moved near there.
Really?
See, it's weird. I don't even know this story. I don't know how you wound up.
We don't ask each other questions. We don't give a fuck about
What's so
each
funny?
other.
I know. Interesting. You would have told me.
You're right. Yeah.
I know a little bit about you. I only know that you and your chick works. You're on disability, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and you smoke pot.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I know.
That's basically all there is.
Awesome.
You've got it all.
It's you'd be so good. Every time I listen to this podcast, I go, Chaille would be so good in a writer's room. Because he just speaks when he has something hilarious to say. Like he just chimes in. You literally hit. I'm a person that fills dead air. Like I was just talking about this on stage. I did that. Went to this flying dildo show in Amsterdam a long time ago, and I don't like silence. And
Flying dildos.
yeah, it was a live sex show in Amsterdam, but the thing said live sex, flying dildos, and then it's like a small black box theater, and it's just a live sex show which closes with flying dildos. But I was sitting up front, and when a girl comes out to masturbate, it's so uncomfortable. She's like so close to you, and I have a problem with silence, and I just started talking to her. I go, "Do you speak English?"
You going to school or what?
Are you studying abroad? How did you get this job? It was just so uncomfortable. But when I listen to the podcast, and Chaille too, I feel like you guys are really good at like chiming in. And same with Brett and Andy. Like everyone's so good on this podcast. I feel like I'm ruining it by talking nonstop.
You're the guest. Yeah. I guess we're both the guest. It's a Swapcast.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you ever think about having other people come out to Bisbee for like a night or like a weekend?
I think about them coming out here. They don't.
top five that you'd love to have come out here.
Oh,
so I was talking to Tom Rhodes about this.
Dream
at the store
guests.
the other night.
Dream guests.
As far as comics go.
Yeah. I'd say comics. I mean, I'd love to hear Johnny Depp on this fucking podcast.
Who?
Johnny Depp. I'd love to hear
I'm
him.
not familiar with that name.
Yeah, he does pilots.
Oh.
I'd have to think, but the last one we were doing our top 5 fantasy comics to tour with, which I ruined.
Who's yours? Oh yeah. We did do that.
We were talking about that. I don't have a good memory. I listened to all this shit today to remember. So
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. I just remember geeking out. One of my and I'll
took a tell. I went with Bill Burr first, like 4 guys to tour with, and one's a wild card train wreck guy.
Oh, and you picked Junior Stopka.
I picked Stopka as my rookie.
Yeah.
And then I picked Andy as my wild card, and you went with Joey Diaz, where
Yes.
I thought, as I was listening to it, why did no one say Brody Stevens? That would be that's a strong guy. But now if we're going to do fantasy, you know what? Let's take a break.
Why?
Because this is Bree. You haven't met her yet. She's going to review some porn.
Right there.
This is so fucking great. You know, we could do this forever. We could do this like for fucking 10 years. Let's take a break. We'll take naps, wake up, start it up again.
For that
I get
pilot,
those
we
calls.
needed porn. So I don't know how much we've already gone over on the podcast of this about the porn we got.
Plenty.
All right,
It's a
good.
3-parter.
Well, first I started asking anyone on my the Twitter people, hey, if you got old fucking porn or dildos between the mattress, send them out because we need props, and they don't sell porn here, even if we had a budget. We found a cache, but one of the people, and I forgot her name on the last podcast, is Tiffany Starr. She's a TS a porn star lady, and she sent a bunch of porn, and I want to thank her. And because I forgot your name, I had Bree, Reverend Derek's lady gal, wife of agony, Bree. I dropped off one of Tiffany's videos, and I said, I need you to review this. So we'll refresh our drinks, and she's gonna review some porn. Are you ready yet, or do you need another cocktail? All right. All right. We'll be right back. And now, Bree reviews porn. All right, Bree. Tiffany Starr, TS Porn Star, and sent us. Which movie did you review?
America's Next Top Tranny, Season 14.
I thought tranny's not a word you're supposed to use.
Yeah, that's
Maybe it's an old movie.
not politically correct.
Well, it was the 2011 X-Biz Awards winner.
All right.
So
Well, if it
we're
won an
a little late
award,
to the
then I
Sounds
guess it's
good,
not.
then.
Yeah.
What are your qualifications as a tranny porn reviewer, if any?
I watched it.
Oh,
That was my qualification.
you are more.
I watched
You
it.
are more qualified than I
watched
am.
about 20 minutes.
We watched some. We watched another one. We watched the tranny cheerleaders yesterday. Yesterday we did porn and eggs as a wrap party for the pilot, where we did a Sunday brunch with and gave away all that porn that we had as props. And except for this movie, we had porn playing
I
on the
stole that
TV, vintage porn, like 1940s silent movie era.
Like Rudo Valentino style.
With a
silent.
jazz soundtrack, it was fucking great. I enjoyed that part. That was fun.
And we let that movie replay over and over till everyone was drunk enough that I had Derek change it out for tranny porn, just a little shock value to get you woken up again. So yeah, we had Tiffany Starr playing for Porn and Eggs at the rap party. But what did you think about the top tranny all-stars?
Well, I was really confused. I was confused often. I was confused.
What is it?
Every minute,
That's an understandable
every second,
reaction.
I was confused. I was constantly confused. I wanted to wait for oh yeah, this guy's gonna fuck her.
Let's
then,
back up. When I first
guy,
met you, you said I put on porn and jerk off just to start my day.
You're right.
So that's why you were the go-to person to review this film.
That's the qualifications I was fishing for earlier.
It's true. It's okay. So when you got a dick, it's just weird, to fuck. I couldn't. I guess when you. My question: who watches this? Because it's like when you have a dick, there's just two dicks.
People
so I
at
guess
rap
you gotta
parties. When you have a dick,
really, you want to watch someone get fucked, but it's like, so are you? I guess.
Well, who's fucking who in the picture?
Well, everybody's fucking each other. That's the thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I couldn't get, and I couldn't everybody's fucking each other. Everybody has tits. So it's like, okay, well, and they're all fake tits.
So all it's only
they're
tranny.
all fake
There's
tits,
no,
and they're all fake tits.
No women
I
or.
swear to God, they're
But there's no actual straight up man, straight up woman.
They're all confused. It's like, come on, someone take the fucking role. Fuck that bitch. Even though she's got a dick.
If there were not a straight.
You should see the faces.
I don't know what the if there's no one without tits that with it, you want someone that's not a transvesite in tranny porn. Whether it's a tranny fucking a woman or a tranny fucking a dude fucking a tranny. There has to be a dude or a woman or someone.
The straight man.
That's honestly, no, Doug. That's what I was
guy
looking
in the
for.
corner.
Was like someone is like, whoa, wow, I wasn't expecting this. I'm fucking getting my asshole fucked. Yeah, I would love that, but it was just kind of like a mishmash, and everybody's kind of.
You are so the Donald Trump of tranny porn reviewers.
Oh, no, I
Explain that.
Oh, and can I talk about the dicks? Okay, so let me talk about the dicks.
She needs a fucking white male.
So no, this needs to be discussed. I feel like, okay, so there's a certain dick that I think if you, as a parent, for instance, see this dick, you could probably rest assured your kid's gonna be a transvestite. This dick, it's a long skinny dick, but it's not really long, it's just a skinny dick. It's and they're all the same.
I thought she was describing I thought she was describing a dream. It's skinny, but it's not skinny. It's short, but it's
just
long.
it's like just a skinny dick. And
is this Brazilian?
But they're all the same.
Brazilian
No,
transvestites have
these
weird dicks.
guys. So it's I mean, you don't need to do genetic testing or anything. You just look at the dick, and if you have
profile.
that dick,
You're saying to profile.
Oh yeah,
much like
absolutely.
the way in England
if you're
they used
a parent,
to.
And this is I don't have children, but I mean if you're
That's
a parent,
why you're welcome.
and your child has a skinny dick, I would be concerned. I mean, unless you want to, you want to maybe start a savings account.
Would you get the surgery right away?
Because I'm telling you, they all have the same exact.
Don't give them a circumcision doctor. Just give them a pussy, because that's not a man's dick.
Cut it back tight.
I don't
know.
I mean, but
more.
okay. So then, if it is plastic surgery, which clearly there's a lot of surgery in this. America's Next Top Tranny season 14.
It's in the director's cut. You get to watch the surgeries happen.
It's a lot of surgery, but
reel.
if there is surgery, I would if I was a dude, I'd be give me a big fat dick. Give me a big dick, And they're focusing more on those tits, and I focus on.
Do you know the cost of a big fat dick, by the way? That's more than an injured Bert Kreischer dog.
I don't know.
Bree,
my suggestion.
I just want to. I want you to tell me the most spankable part of Tiffany Starr's top tranny all-stars.
I think there was one scene where this guy was fucking this chick, and it was a chick, she had a pussy. So that was
You just said there's none of those people in
No,
there.
there was like 2 minutes of like, it was weird, remember? We were like, what the fuck? And it was just some dude fucking this chick, and we're like, yeah, all right, do it. I think it's, what is it?
We didn't get too far into that one, so I'm not sure what actually happened.
I thought you had to leave the house when she works. You were there? That's an inside joke.
Oh, I wish I could.
All right, so
No, really. There was one scene where dude was fucking a chick, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And, I mean,
You don't
my
want
standards
that
are
in
low,
tranny porn.
so it's like, I mean, I've seen the worst of the worst. So I'm like, okay, well, as long as you're fucking her, she got a pussy.
that was the worst part about porn and eggs is when someone put on after vintage porn and then tranny porn, someone put on normal porn, and everyone's boo, boo, normal
just
porn.
jackhammering it. Yeah, I know.
Made it really weird.
But you know, to jackhammer these chick dudes is a little weirder. And I just don't recommend. I mean, Kimberly, I love you, girl. Or Tiffany? Is it Tiffany?
Tiffany, yes.
Tiffany, I love you.
Well, maybe
you're
'cause,
fucking hot.
we
girl.
saw
I'm
some.
looking at you right now.
We
You're
watched
fucking
Tiffany's cheerleader porn, tranny porn, and there was some. There was some hot moments. A lot
Tiffany,
of people had to leave
did you dye
early.
your hair red? Is she the red hair? I don't know if she's the.
I don't know. She's got the strong shoulders.
Oh, so okay,
like Bingo's
Serena
sister.
and Tiffany. And what's the? Remember I got this and I was like, oh, what's her name? The Asian black chick. She's pretty.
The Asian black chick is enough. People will know.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
I mean, like it just.
How many skinny dicks up do you give it?
Ooh. Out of what? 5.
Out of 5. Yeah, I think that's usually how it goes.
5
I
being
love you,
best.
Tiffany. I love you, girl. But I gotta do a. I gotta do a half a skinny dick on this one. And I've watched a lot of porn.
Hand.
But it was not the makeup. By the way, the makeup we could do better. Come on, you guys. The makeup was a big problem too. The lighting was an issue for me. No, it really was. And look at like I mean, it was like
Should
my
they have turned the
backyard,
lights out?
Like
Is
in
that
LA,
what you want?
it was like my back. Like ooh, like come on. And look at the Photoshop on the cover. It's like they really did a bad job.
That's a great segue back into me and Bert talking about our books.
I'm telling you, I can get you a Photoshop guy in LA. You just talk to me. But that's I'm seeing some balls.
If you ever made eye contact once with me, I'd be giving you the wrap it up signal, but you're just staring at the back of the box, like.
There's dicks and tits. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry, Doug.
All right, if Tiffany Starr, if you had to be with her, would you be a lesbian or a heterosexual? Would you take the tits over the dick? You can get back to us with an answer at the end, and people will be waiting around.
Email your suggestions what Bree should answer when asked a direct question.
Give me the Jeopardy music. I don't know. I would do Tiffany. Fuck.
Is Tiffany your
I'd
top
let
or your
Tiffany-
bottom?
I would let-
top or bottom?
Bottom. Tiffany, I'd fuck the shit out of you.
With your skinny
All
dick.
right, there's Bree with a long-winded and easily edited porn review. Thank you. We'll be right back. Oh, I don't know.
It runs like my dog. You get in it, it's kind of loud, and it's like, wait a minute, this sounds like an old car.
That's a newer plane, though.
No, it's a 76.
That's a well-maintained plane.
I know that.
Planes can be old.
Let me get back to that
All right.
quickly just to finish up. The pilot guy says, oh, I can fly you for just the cost of gas. He actually flew over with, after we did a show down here, with Stanhope under the wings, written on the under the wings, and flew over the house.
Are you serious?
Several times, yeah.
He's accruing hours, so he has to fly every week. And it's no big deal. It's like $27 in gas round trip from where he's at in Tucson to here.
It's not when you want to fly with the pilot, it's when they're accruing hours.
No, he has a lot of hours
I
already.
tested him.
Yeah.
I tested
I gotta
him.
practice, guys.
Stanhope takes a lot of risks in life.
I'm testing out condoms. Do you want to fuck?
Wait, you open it? I'm new at this.
Good or not?
I'm
They're
new at
brand new. I always look at those guys that do. It's gonna make no sense. Those guys that do the skywriting,
Yeah.
like during Valentine's Day, like I love you. Do you know how hard that would be? Like to fucking like find yourself in the sky and go like, oh, if I gotta finish this hard. Like I just think it would be so hard to write "I love you" in a plane. You're like, I think I'm dotting the I. I don't know.
Wait, did I do the V yet?
It's learning it. It's where you have to like. It's not like you can doodle to become an artist. You have to go out there and fuck it up a lot of times.
There's so many times that you're just like, I circled Jenna? Oh no, it's a heart. Sorry. Like I literally watched that the other day, this last Valentine's Day, and I was like, I would never be able to do that. Like I get like spatially, I get lost in like cities, let alone in the middle of the sky, just like
No markers.
no markers, just going I, and then stopping the smoke and then turning around and going, this is the top of the eye.
Is Bert skyrocketing?
halfway through an E. Oh shit!
Is Bert skywriting or is he on fire?
None of the letters would be the same size. It'd all be like a huge B, a tiny little E. Like, I just thought that this last quiz, because this guy was trying to write "I love you" to his girlfriend, and it just did not look like that. I was like, that must have been his first one.
Bert skywriting.
Tattoo artist going, hey, sorry, I'm new. Trainee. Sorry.
Bert skywriting advertisement would be Bert skywriting. You spell it and we'll try.
I bet they don't do those in helicopters. Just sprint up.
He's on fire.
We got to get back to our fantasy podcast guest. Because we did our fantasy tour, like our 4 guys and a wild card on tour in a tour bus last time.
Yes.
So this time we were going to do fantasy podcast guests, comedians. Where's that coin? The coin that the cop gave me. All right, you go ahead and flip for first.
Okay.
It says tails, I get head, head, I get tails. So do you get head or tails?
Tails.
Boom.
Tails.
Tails. All right, you pick first.
First one. And this is, by the way, this is just to do your podcast out here in Bisbee.
Or your podcast.
Nope. I don't care about my podcast. I care about, this is what I want as a.
No, this is for listenership. It's you and me going head to head in the ratings.
Oh, God damn it then. Okay. All right. Well, then
I want to know his list even off mic.
I'm gonna go tit for tat. I will tell you who I want on my podcast. Number one. I know my number one right now.
I know my number one right now, and I know you're gonna fucking steal it from me.
No, my number one. You're never gonna guess. I know my number one, and then I know your number one.
Go ahead.
My number one. No questions asked. Dan Whitney.
That's a good one.
No accent.
But you're
Dan Whitney.
If we're going on a ratings challenge, who's my number one?
Oh, for me, that I want to hear on your podcast?
No. I know. You said you knew who I was going to pick.
No. I don't know who you're going to pick.
Okay.
I know who I want to hear on your podcast. You ready for this? Ready for this? Guy comes into the airport. Chaille picks him.
Tell me that afterwards, because I don't want you to say someone I'm going to pick. Because my number one
you will not pick this guy.
Is Bill Cosby, obviously.
Oh, motherfucker.
Wow.
Obviously,
Damn
Cosby.
It. Oh, it's Cosby. Shit, I wasn't thinking like that.
That's what makes a Marin.
God damn it.
Yeah, Marin took off after he had Carlos Mencia. He just stole jokes.
Yeah, holy shit.
But remember when I told you in the car, sometimes you think you know what Doug's thinking?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he fucking blows your mind?
I didn't come up with it until just now.
I'm just saying that you think you figured it out, and this is what I live with.
I wouldn't sit in on that podcast just because I have a tendency to take pills that I don't know what the fuck they are. So I'm out on that.
I can't do it.
I was thinking
Cosby
the same
accent. I was going, hey, Chad.
Chad, that's your drink, huh?
Hey, chocolate chip cookies.
Sounds like Barney.
A pudding joke. All right, so number two.
Number two. I think this is going to sound like a low ball, but I think this is a big get. Only because he's never done a podcast. Daniel Tosh.
Fuck, once you said he's never done a podcast, I just saw that episode where he says, I don't go out of the house and do things like podcasts. I would love Tosh. It's a fucking great one.
Because I like the way he writes. I like the way he looks at comedy, and I like the way he deconstructs it. And I like the way we've worked together, and I watched him look at me, and the way he looked at me was with such discerning eyes. Like I remember it was a predominantly, ethnic room in Miami. It was Miami. And he came off and he just looked at me. He goes, That's one way to do it. and it was just such it was saying everything I already thought about myself. I would love to hear him deconstruct the way he writes. I'd love to,
Yeah, I really, really like Tosh a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't get it, but a lot of people don't get me.
I don't get those people. I don't get anyone that doesn't get doesn't get the difference between Brian Regan, Doug Stanhope, Daniel Tosh, Joe Rogan. I don't get someone that just doesn't I go, are you what world do you fucking live in?
When Stephen Lynch and Hedberg were co-headlining on the tour, Stephen Lynch would go out and he'd do half the
Chaille
set.
was tour managing Hedberg and Stephen Lynch.
I was with Hedberg, not Stephen Lynch, but we all hung out together, right? So Stephen Lynch would go out and do a set, and then Hedberg would come out and do a set, and they were supposed to flip flop 50-50, right? Mitch was always amazed at Lynch would do his set and now it's Hedberg. It's like that. You could see that crossover where it would work. And then during Mitch's jokes, someone would yell out, "We love you, Steven," or something. And I remember one night, Mitch just like, "Hey man, I like him too. But can't we all enjoy comedy?"
That did become a thing with, where people say, it's always been a thing. Oh, you're better than the headliner. And you're like, don't say that in front of the headliner, because we both like each other more than we like you.
Yeah.
When we go on stage, it's us against you. Even if I hate the other guy, it's us against you. Especially in the early days when you're just playing comedy clubs and they have no idea who they're there to see. Which leads me to my number 2 pick. Ooh. Dane Cook. I would have Dane Cook because he's always been my comedy nemesis, even though we're friendly behind the scenes enough so.
Yeah.
Where I always hated, this is all in the book too. I hated him before anyone knew him, just from doing a comedy competition against him for 3 weeks.
In San Francisco, you bet Barry Katz about it. I remember hearing that. Yeah,
that's a great story.
Yeah.
So he became my nemesis, and I enjoyed that. And when he started getting huge and everyone's ripping him apart, I've been ripping him apart for years.
You were probably on the first group of people going, "Hey, I'm going to defend him." Because when everyone starts falling apart, that's the thing that no one understands about Dane is that all of us saw Oz first. We were all like, "Wow, he's murdering. He's never bombing. I don't get it. Holy fuck, how come I'm bombing still and he's not bombing?" And then all of us were like, "Oh." And then when he got big, and I was like, "Motherfucker!" But then when I saw people attacking him, like UCB, I was like, "Fuck you." He's put in the hard work. The guy's a fucking legit comic.
Stadiums.
Fuck stadiums, dude. I watched him at this Laugh Factory make fucking fire. Literally the first caveman making fire. Mind you, I'm the caveman that invented stop, drop, and roll. He's the first one that's making fucking fire. I was blown away. I would pay money. I'll tell you right now, Dane, if you're listening to this, someone reach out to Dane. I will fly Dane out first class to Tucson. I will get a car service out here. All he has to do is car service out here, do the podcast, car service back to Tucson, fly him back. I'm not paying for jets, Dane. I
think his brother has all his jet money.
Yeah.
Would you go halves on a helicopter?
With Bill Burr. With Bill Burr flying? I'm in.
I just want to establish a baseline.
Fuck yeah. Oh, that would be a great fucking podcast. I would listen to that.
Just a helicopter ride?
My number 2. Are we on number 3?
Going to 3.
My number 3, now this is gonna sound weird. I want full disclosure, unfiltered, drunk, with a tad bit of a bump of cocaine in him, Dave Attell.
I would. When I listened to our last fantasy tour thing, you picked Attell, I picked Burr first, and you went with Attell, and I went, "Fuck! Why didn't I go with Attell first?"
Yeah.
You better have a time machine.
I want
not on a podcast.
Nope. That's why I want him drunk with a bump of cocaine in him, so that he starts talking. I want to know things about him.
I've been with him with a bump and plenty of cocktails, and he's just stronger Dave Attell.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I want him to fuck. I want to sit down and go, "Why did you quit drinking? What happened? Something happens. Something happens. What happened?" I want to know. I want to know about, there were nights where him and he lost Geraldo, was one of his best friends, lost Geraldo and Patrice and all these guys at the same time. One of the greatest statements I've ever heard, earmark this may be one of the things we take out, but is that, I was talking to someone who partied with him and Geraldo. I won't say his name only because I'm sure he doesn't want to be labeled as someone who'd tell. I said, what's it like hanging out with Geraldo and Attell, just hanging out drinking late at night? And he goes, you know what, man? We just talk about other fucking comics. He's like, there's no genius happening. We literally just look at other guys' comics going, look how much they're touring. They're like, you forget how regular Attell is, but I want to pull the sheet back and I want to find out.
I've tried to find that sheet and it doesn't happen. I give him shit. He calls me at 3 a.m. because he thinks I'm up. He thinks I'm 15 years younger still.
He's just such an, he was the first guy that
Did I say he calls me drunk? Did I just say that? All right. Sorry.
He was the first guy. Dimitri Martin introduced me to him and said, you got to watch this guy. It was the first guy I watched tell a joke, and I literally went, that's how you write jokes. Like I never understood it. I think when you're a young comic, you watch these guys do it, and you're like, I think I can do it. I just don't know. And you're like, oh, I've been to Radio Shack. Why didn't I notice that? But Dave Attell told a joke. I remember the joke. I remember it specifically was. I want to say Ray Romano had been on stage right before him, and he goes, a lot of guys want to talk about how different men and women are. I think they're similar. For instance, men and women are very similar when they're on fire. And I literally sat back. No, don't put my pussy out. Take me to a football game. I'm on fire. I'm burning. And I sat in the back of the Comedy Store and I wrote that joke down. And there was a guy who used to, I don't know if you remember this guy. He used to have a joke that do an impression of a plane. I don't remember the guy's name. Kind of a lunatic. Stopped doing comedy. But he saw me write the joke down because I wrote it down because I was like, I didn't know how to write a joke yet. And I literally wrote the joke down. He was like, hey,
you need to with Attell because you'll walk out they'll do a 15-minute spot at the cellar and you walk out and you're fucking still wiping your eyes and you don't remember any of it.
It's overload.
Best moment I've ever, and I've always had these words in my brain when I come into this moment, but I never say them because they're Attell's words. Was a guy was heckling and Dave's like, hey, I'm doing my show. And then he goes back. The guy heckles again. Hey, give me a second. And he goes, hey, one more peep out of you and I'm attacking you. And the guy said it again. And Dave Attell finishes his joke. He goes, all right, you're up, numbnuts. And literally destroyed the guy. And I sat back in the back and I was like, motherfucker. I would love to know more. I wish I could get him True Serum, like in True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Sodium pentothal?
Yeah, sodium pentothal.
I think he's just become that guy. He's the only guy, he's like 30 years in the business that tapes his sets and listens to them and goes home alone and obsesses and then masturbates about porn and then calls you to see if you're still awake. I couldn't even sell out Seattle. So I was just quoting where he called me up one night. And he's
hit pause on that because we're going to run out of card and I want to tape other stuff today. Yeah. So wait, what were you gonna say?
He called me up 3 a.m, whatever. He's like, yeah, this is right before he quit drinking. He goes, yeah, I was just on a 3-day bender and I knew it got really bad when I was shitting blood. And I thought the only way this could get worse is if I was shitting on someone. And the old Asian man that was paying me to do it was underneath me going, it's no good. It's all blood.
Can I tell you something crazy? I heard him tell a joke about shitting blood when I was younger. And this may be, like, one of the things I always wanted when I was younger to have the lifestyle of the guys I loved. Like you, Attell, Geraldo, guys that kind of lived on the fringe. I always liked that. And I love Bobby Kelly, but like the dialed in, like, I'm going to go do my set and then go home and take a nap and then go wake up and work out. That never connected with me. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I remember one time Dave Attell said a joke about shitting blood and I laughed hysterically. This is going to sound really crazy, but I literally thought to myself, one day I'll shit blood. I'm not even fucking around. I was like, one day I'll be on the road so much that I'll shit blood. And so one day I shit blood. And I went, and this is so crazy, but I went, I'm going to write a joke about this. And because this is my Dave Attell moment. What happened to me is I fell off an aircraft carrier, fractured my ribs, fucked up my insides, and was shitting blood from that. And I was drinking and eating pain pills.
I love that that's not the story.
Yeah, that's the aside.
I woke up that morning and I was shitting blood, and I had this real, like, almost like Claire, what are the moments that alcoholics have?
Clairvoyant is what you're trying to say.
Moment of clarity.
Moment of clarity, and I went, it's so funny is that I had that moment and then I wrote a joke, and the joke I wrote was, you ever wake up shit blood and just pray to God that at 2 a.m. you went out and found roasted beets? Because that was, and I went, I had my moment where I shit blood, and I was like, time to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, and then my blood pressure was 160 over 110, and it was a fucking nightmare. But
does anyone in this room know what that means?
That sounds high.
160 over 110 is high
by his inflection. But would you know a number?
No, I just had mine. It was 120 over something.
That's
so
perfect.
Yeah.
Right now, mine's 140 over 90.
I haven't been on any aircraft carriers, so I'm pretty good.
I fell off an aircraft carrier for a Red Bull shoot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe your story has now inspired other kids to hope to shit blood.
I know that, but that's the brave. Did you ever have that? Like when you started, did you guys?
I remember reading like Hunter S. Thompson, or Bukowski especially, where I think I even referenced it in a set one time, where I would look at them being hardcore fuck-ups and going, Bukowski didn't write anything till he's like 42, and I'm only 35, so I can keep getting fucked up. I don't need to try. Is this our Quaalude guy?
No, I'm getting a drink for Chad.
All right. Hey,
Sorry.
pull up that blind on the door, so if that Quaalude guy does show up,
push it down.
Every time the dog barks, I assume we got a creepy fan with fake Quaaludes coming. So go ahead.
No. That's
that was Bukowski would be my guy that I'd look at. Like, I don't have to really try because he got famous late and he drank every fucking day.
Gene Hackman. That was me and my buddy Obi's guy. He didn't get famous till he was 50. We'd look at Gene Hackman and be like, hey, Gene Hackman didn't do anything till he was 50.
Really?
Yeah. He got his first role. 50. I may be making this up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I just saw him in.
Did he do anything after 55?
I think Gene Hackman was he in Gandhi? What was that movie we were watching the other night? I'm just so used to seeing him as Willy Wonka.
I don't know any of these movies.
I'll find out Gene Hackman real quick.
Okay, number 3.
Willy Wonka's Gene Wilder.
Oh, wait, who did I say? Oh, Gene Hackman? Oh, I don't know anything about him. I so wanted to shoehorn Gene Wilder into something.
Gene
Hackman's 86.
Wow. Yeah, he just died.
Yeah. So sad.
Sorry,
is that Brett? Is that Brendan Walsh?
Yes.
God damn it! I saw him do that at the.
It's fucking. Every time it crushes, and every time he does it, I almost think he's telling the truth.
Have you seen it?
Because one time he will be.
Just like in the middle of a set, like, oh yeah. So I guess y'all heard Gene Hackman died today, and the crowd just all goes, oh. It's like, no, I just made that up. I just want you to know how much you appreciate Gene Hackman. Maybe tomorrow you can all tweet Gene Hackman, you bunch of...
First thing he did was in 1971.
You're all full of Hackman fever in here.
Hackman fever, yeah.
First thing he did was in 1971.
Don't start making me do math.
Does he have any illnesses? Because we got a trade round coming up in Deathpool.
Dude, did you guys get... who got Scalia?
Nobody.
Really?
That would have been a spite.
That was a zero?
We have a spite pool coming up. Go to Doug Stanhope's CelebrityDeathpool.com or just the acronym DSCDP.com. And Joby has some, like, you can play with us. There's one that's just a spite pool. You don't put effort into finding out who's going to die. It's just who you want to die.
Yeah.
So you can really celebrate. Like, I always have Ralphie May in. I love Ralphie. We've been friends for fucking 25 years. But I always have him in my death pool.
Yeah.
Because before we had a celebrity death pool, we'd sit around bullshitting at the bar. What comic's going to die next?
Yeah.
Ralphie? Probably.
He's,
I don't take him out ever.
Oh, you have some insider information. He said this is the year Stanhope.
Yeah, but he says that a lot.
Well, yeah, but
we all have meltdowns.
we all have spin outs, and our wife put us in therapy for Skype.
We got to go to number 4.
No, you're number 3. Doug, we don't have your third.
You haven't done your third yet.
I didn't do my third.
No, you did.
I did.
You did Cosby and Cook.
I had it. Bill Cosby, Dane Cook, and then I had my third. Who was your third?
Mine was
Dave Attell.
Dave Attell, unfiltered.
With liquor and a small bump.
I got my number 3.
Who's that?
Bamfoo. Maria Bamford.
Oh,
fuck yeah!
Oh shit! Now I know my number 4.
Maria Bamford with the fucking mental illness, because she can come off the clock and actually talk about stuff.
Intrusive
absolutely.
Thought. She did a podcast with Happiness Sadness podcast. What's that?
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm flaking on.
I see the icon. I
Yes.
just can't remember the names.
About intrusive thought. Dude, I got that shit hardcore.
Which is?
Intrusive thought. It's like when you...
Wait a minute.
When you're
I've
fucking
heard
your
you
wife.
talk about that.
I've talked about it a lot. Patrice talked about it as well.
Yeah.
I think we all have it to an extent. I think some of us have it worse than other people. It's like when you're making... I have a joke about it. I'm making love to my wife, and out of nowhere, this voice in my head goes, rip her ears off. And you're like, what the fuck? And you just think crazy thoughts. You think crazy fucking thoughts.
Bingo would chime in right now, but she's buying patio furniture for her bus out at the outhouse guy's house.
That's one of the things I use a Bluetooth and a police scanner for. I didn't know they had a name for it. I thought it was just being crazy. Intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive thought.
Sounds more gallant.
Did you ever hear Patrice's joke about it?
No.
He goes, he didn't know what it was called. This is how brilliant Patrice was. He didn't know what it was called. He just knew he had it. And he was like, man, the other day this woman like has a baby. She's like, man, why don't you hold my baby? And he's like, no, I don't have that kind of brain. I can't just hold a baby. And then she's like, no, hold the baby. And then my brain goes, fuck it, she don't want the baby. Take it and spike it. Fucking spike this baby. She don't want the fucking baby. She's putting the baby. Like, but it's Brianne Bamford talked about
it. All right, for the record, when I listened back, you did a Patrice on the last podcast we did, and it's a fucking, I got your Attell, but you got Patrice down.
Oh, dude.
I was thinking the same thing.
I did it in my book. When I did my audiobook, I did a Patrice impression, which you're not supposed to do.
I listened to your audiobook
Because if you
and
don't
laughed
know
my ass off.
it just sounds racist. Hey, man. We ain't friends, Bert.
Stanhope was trying to convince me to read his audiobook.
You should.
But then I listened to yours, and I use yours as an example to tell him that he should read his own audiobook because he's thinking it had to be rigid, and I was like,
hold on, can I stop you right there? Are you doing an audiobook?
It hasn't come up.
Do not approach it. Do not agree to do one. Do your own. Do not let them do an audiobook with you.
Interesting.
Don't know what the contract says.
I know. I can already tell you what the contract's going to say. It's going to be a low number, and they're going to charge about $31 for the audiobook. Do not fucking do it.
Oh, Hennigan's a fucking animal about
Oh, yeah.
this
We got
shit.
the Hennigan factor.
My audiobook downloads, I was the #1 audiobook for a month because my audiobook went through the roof.
Audible?
Sold on iTunes.
iTunes.
Sold through the fucking roof because I read it and I'm a little dyslexic and I just had fucking anxiety throughout it and I was just like, motherfucker. And they left all that in. And it's great. And so, but I think that I say our fans, but I mean like the people that listen to this, they love audiobooks. They like to drive and listen to shit. And they'd rather hear you stumble through it, pour a cocktail.
I will do that even if I have Chad, like, all right, you do this part. And then,
Do a chapter? Of course.
Tap him out, like in wrestling.
I had to change that part, and I can do director commentary, and then I can try one and fuck it up. And
Don't give him ideas. You should really do it on your own, like he's saying.
But do not let...
Don't tell him how creative you're going to be at fucking doing a good audiobook.
You will not... Fitzsimmons told me this, and I fucking regret not listening, because I thought I wanted to be corporate. I wanted... If the publishers wanted me to do it... Yeah, and I thought it would increase sales for the book. It didn't. It really didn't. It just increased sales for the audiobook, because that's who buys it. People come to my show, and they go, yeah, I didn't buy your book. Man, your audiobook's fucking hilarious. I would do it on your own. I would do it in this studio. I would do it with you guys.
I read your book, so I like to read. If I'm going to read a book, unless I'm on the road, I can't listen to podcasts. That's why I haven't heard you or anyone I haven't done a show in the States in 18 months, except for here.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I told you.
Months.
I worked 10 days last year.
The last gig I did was October 30th in Michigan, 2014.
Really?
Then
and that's why we all like Squarespace.
Squarespace. I love
Build
Squarespace.
it beautiful.
Actually, now's a good time to talk about all those T-shirts and media sitting on Arizona Street.
This is my tour manager.
Yeah.
So he gets paid when I work in the States. Other than the podcast.
We had an hour and 45-minute drive. He heard some of what's going on.
I didn't realize you really hadn't toured in the U.S. at all.
I filmed a couple of specials here.
He did one show.
Just for fun, right on that stage right there. We just filmed just to see if it works, and it did, except for the lighting is fucking horrific. But it was all like burner material that got cut out of other DVDs. But we filmed in town.
The next night.
That's
that was
where
the Friday, then the Saturday.
You need to do a monthly show there. Doug Stanhope presents, and you can do $100 tickets.
I'll tell you what.
It's tough, Bert.
We'll start it off.
See all those people. It's like working a cruise ship for life, where if you suck in a cruise ship, You got to see those people at the buffet the next day.
No, but what you do,
if you suck in Bisbee, that person that hated you is going to be behind you in line
at the feed store,
at the mercantile.
You should do it though. You should do it where you bring in a comic.
He should host and bring an outdoor comic.
Where
it
I
right
control
here?
the audience.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
The shows here have been better than the shows there.
Yeah.
The audience.
We've been
better
doing
here.
shows here, and it's just fucking unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah, 30 people.
But we could do a show at the Royale, and the headliner who comes in could actually
I'll
make
always
some
do
money
that.
and
I'll
then
always
do
host.
it and route through.
Yeah, and then have him on your podcast. I would like to be the impetus. Is that the right word? For you bringing
say it
comics
is.
in who you're friends with or you don't even know. I'd love to see Dane Cook come here. You know, and
That's
that's
right. We got to work on number 4. That was the
Oh, I
back
know
of
my number
brain
4.
was
Maria Bamford's a great one.
fucking crushed you there.
you-
Kreischer.
This is a this is fucking battle royale.
Am I
between
on
you
number
two.
4 right now?
'Cause
He's on number 3. I'm on number 4.
I'm gonna float this right now. I think both of you have changed some comic in the list from the beginning
I've
to
never
right
had
now.
I have.
I
When
have
he said Maria Bamford, I got
Yeah.
a brand new
Fuck.
number 4.
Bill
and
Cosby.
And it comes with
Bill
gossip.
Cosby goes, like opens this whole thing. He's like, oh fuck, that's
Yeah.
right. We
Yeah,
could
all
get,
of a sudden the president's doing your podcast because one time you had a good pick with Carlos Mencia in the height of that Joe Rogan joke stealing thing, and then you've doubled down with Robin Williams. Now every comic's tuning in.
Yeah.
Next thing,
number 4.
I
Bert.
got Trump.
Number 4. Number 4. It might be a little bit of a ghost one. You might go, really? But I'm calling it. Paul F. Tompkins.
Oh fucking.
He hates me.
Does he?
That's the.
Hates my guts. Hates me.
That'd be a hipster thing to do. Is hate you.
I mean, I take my shirt off on stage. It makes sense.
But would you trick him into
What
doing it?
fucking alt comic likes a fucking bro comic with his shirt off and fucking chugging a beer going, who's ready to fucking party?
So would you trick him into doing it?
Nope,
Like,
nope.
like someone else would be like the
Nope.
podcast, and then all of a sudden you show up.
Nope.
Paul was always nice to me out of that crowd when that started happening with the the Janine Garofalo, David Cross people. Fuck. Wow. David Cross would probably be one. Oh. David Cross, I'm going to just say that's my number 4.
Really?
Because that's a guy I still have an issue with over a personal slight from over 20 years ago.
I think I know this slight. What is it?
I was filming like Premium Blend. It was like my first stand-up thing.
Jesus
So it's just
Christ.
this dumb thing where I sat down. I was a road comic, and the comics all hung out together. So I sat down at his table when people were leaving his table because it was right when the smoking ban had been just restaurants in L.A.,
Yeah.
but bars. So that table he was at was technically connected to the bar, so I could smoke there. And he had people leave, and he had a couple people in this giant
Like a booth?
oval booth. And I sat down, oh, thank God, and I lit up a cigarette. He's like, I'm with people. But I know that kind of dick. I would be that dick now, maybe.
Good God. That.
And I'm with my new girlfriend, who's this fucking hot ex-child star, and I just felt like such a fucking piece of shit because I came from everything they hate, which is road hackneyed. If you come from the road, you're a hack.
Yup.
And my material didn't really back it up back then.
Dude, you are telling my story about Paul F. Tompkins right fucking now.
All right.
Right now. That is my story. I got a call from Erin at the Improv on a Thursday.
her.
She goes, can you do 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday at the Hollywood Improv? I go, of course. I go, who am I working with? Because I was young. I thought I was hosting. She goes, Paul F. Tompkins. Randomly, I'm sitting on my couch and I'm watching his HBO special where he kills 6 beers.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna be very across the board.
I get a good one.
Really.
That's Paul F. Tompkins.
Chamber that. Hold on. Finish, Bert.
So I get excited. I fucking go to the club that night. It's Jen Kirkman, Howard Kramer, Eddie Pepitone, Paul F. Tompkins.
Wow.
By the way, I'm a fan of all of them. And so I'm like, and I'm young. I'm a road guy more. I'm a little more of a bro comic, which is what they call it now. They give me the lineup and I go right before Paul. So everyone, it was tough. I don't think the alt scene had been developed entirely at the Hollywood Improv yet. And Paul had wanted all his friends. And I'm defending Paul in this because I understand he hates me and this is a reason. But I go, I go on stage and I have a really good set. I think everyone kind of had rough sets. I think Jen Kirkman will admit everyone kind of had like weird sets. Jen Kirkman told one of my favorite jokes to this day. Now that I'm in therapy, her joke was something about her friend goes, "It sounds like you argue with your therapist just to win." And Jen Kirkman goes, "I don't pay a therapist to lose." Fucking great joke. And so I go up. I have a really good set.
Where were you in the set?
I go right before Paul F. Tompkins.
You thought you were going to host.
I thought I was. Okay. And they had Eddie Pepitone host. And I loved all of them. They all killed. We hung out at the bar afterwards Friday. And I said to Paul, I said, "Man, I'm a big fan. I watched your special today. Dude, I am so excited to be here." Now, it's that same thing about sitting down at the table going, I just want to make friends. Now, I'm defending Paul F. Tompkins in this because I don't want it to come out like I'm slandering him. But I go back the next day. We hung out all night, all of us, had beers. Come back the next day, and my name is crossed off in a magic marker. And I go, "Rita, what's up?" She was like, "Oh, Paul doesn't want you on the show." And I was like, I literally thought we were friends. Like, that was what really, but honestly, this whole story is about getting my feelings hurt. It's like, I really thought we were friends. And I
at least friendly.
And now, in Paul's defense, I will say this, that he had said to me that night that they had guaranteed him that he could have just his friends on the show and that they didn't say I was going to do that. And whenever I've talked about this, I've been a little more harsher on the way he treated me that night. All I can know is that everything I received was received with hurt feelings. Yeah. That I literally thought we were buddies and that we were drinking buddies. And I just made it in the cool crowd because I liked his stand up. And I just went home and then I went on Jason Nasser's podcast and just shit on him. And I was like, fuck Paul F. Tompkins. And
he was one of the few that was actually talk to me without talking down to me. He did drink back then. I don't know if he does still.
When I hung out with him, he talked to me like we were buddies. And I literally was like, I don't know why everyone shits on this alt scene. This guy's cool as fuck. And we're sitting there I want to say we were having Guinnesses. And I was like, and
That's
feel
what
like
he pounded in that show. Oh, that gets me back to where I was.
Go tell me.
Hold on, wait a second. What hurt more? Like the fact that you felt you were duped, like you said you felt like you guys were friends, or seeing your name crossed off? Because that everyone at the club sees that.
I'm going to be very candid right now. Earmark this.
That's 3 earmarks, by the way.
Fact that I was duped because he said to me because it turned into a fight. It turned into a fight with him in the club. I think he had to get on the phone with like either Matt Coman or Aaron or Rita at the time. And they put me on the phone. They brought me upstairs and they were like, "Bert, and they were like, listen, I really apologize. It's our fault. We didn't. I don't know whatever they said was they were like, it's our fault." Paul was very specific. His contract says he only has his friends on. And then I was like, okay. And then I went downstairs and I was like, I was really kind of confused. But by the way, my parents were in town. So I had told my parents I was working and like, it was like all this shit. And then he came up.
Well, your name seems to be crossed off in the with the marker.
I told you we should have gone to the Friday show.
Fucking.
You should have gone into plumbing. You need to be planned.
Crossed off with a Sharpie just right across the center of it.
The fucking staff sees that. The staff sees that. That's the fuck. That to me.
And I remember him, and now I know this as a headliner who maybe doesn't want the show to go long, wants to do more time, whatever. I can find a million ways to defend him. All I can tell you is how I was hurt that night was that he looked at me and he goes, this fucking earmark this. He goes, do you need money or something? And I was like, and by the way, I did. I really did need money. He's like, are you getting ready for something? Like really like confused. Like, are you getting ready for something? Like, if you need a spot, like let me know. But like, you know, and he kept saying, it's nothing against you. It's the club messed this up. And now granted, whatever material I was doing was very like fucking toothbrush on the balls was a punchline. So like, it wasn't matched for Paul. And in a weird way, I've become very good friends with Jen Kirkman. I know Howard pretty good. Eddie is pretty good. But like, I know Jen. And I've tried to reach out to Paul F. Tompkins a couple times. Like me and Ari were doing a podcast at the store, and I saw him walk by, and I was like, "Oh my God, Ari, hold on, wait!" And I saw him. I went, "Paul, it's Bert Kreischer," and he just fucking blew past us. And then Ari went into a meeting, and apparently he was like, "Yeah, that happened." They're like, "Oh, Paul hates Bert," and then I was like, I didn't really do anything other than what I'm doing right now, which is telling a story where he kind of maybe was a dick. Which maybe he has some comeuppance. Maybe he wants to, maybe there's a part of him. That's why I want to do a podcast with him. I want him to be like, tell me his side of the story. Cause I see his side and I'm forgiving for it. And I understand all the parts where I fucked up. But at the same time, I'm like, it hurt my feelings so bad.
You're willing to reopen the wound.
I'm willing for him to say, hey man, no offense, you were hacky as fuck, and I didn't want to fucking that on my show, and me go, okay, that was it, I got it.
Fair.
We have to do that on the road sometimes, and I still generally will let the show go long rather than hurt. Like, I'm trying to see how many times I've been guilty of this.
I've been guilty of it. But it's the same thing Paul F. Tompkins did to me, I've done to people. And that's why when I go, my only problem is, like, I still think he's funny. It's so hard to like someone's comedy, but know they don't like you.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
You know?
It's very difficult. Well, you'll play like fucking Gainesville, where you did give us a shout out on Twitter. Actually, Gainesville wasn't one of this clubs you book where it's a rock and roll club, and they go, oh, we didn't know you're bringing 2 openers, so we had 3 local guys, and they've spilled their guts to their parents, and their friends are going to be there, and like, we can't have 7 comics on a show, but I guess we can, because I don't want to be that dick, and occasionally you have to.
The thing is, you as a headlining comic, you forget that this is someone's big shot. Like, this is someone's moment,
an opportunity,
but a massive opportunity.
Yeah.
You don't like. Let's just whittle this backwards in a sliding doors kind of scenario. For me, this meant I just got in with a group like 8 more clubs I would never. I have never worked at. I've never worked at UCB. I've never worked at Meltdown. I've never worked at Largo. I've never worked at any of those clubs. That was my meltdown. That was my sliding glass moment where Paul goes, "Man, you're a cool guy." Had he said that night, just in passing, I mean, no offense. Let's hang out or whatever. But like, I was supposed to book this tomorrow. If you want, like, if you just said it to me, cool, I would have been like, yeah. But that was my sliding glass door moment. And from then, I literally shut off the UCB area and was like, I don't, because I was always afraid I'd run into him.
One of the problems I noticed back then, when that whole alt scene was just,
developing.
Yeah. It was a lot of it was pot versus alcohol. They're all like,
really?
Yeah, there were a lot of stoners in that.
Yeah.
And they'd look at you like you're ridiculous for being drunk. And
really?
That's what I felt at the time. This is like 96, 97, 98. And, Bonnie McFarlane and Sarah would always be high, and you always felt stupid for being drunk, like they're looking through you. I don't know how much of it is, how you think you're perceived versus maybe they don't even fucking care.
Is that your coaching horses days?
Yeah, that's when Hedberg and I would hit the coaching horses, and all the fucking high people would go get high at Largo. And
what were you going to say about Paul F. Tompkins?
Paul F. Tompkins, there was a period in the mid-late 90s, probably 96 or 7, where everyone's doing a one-man show, and the HBO workspace had opened up.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to do a one-man show, and I booked the date, knowing if I had a date, I'd be forced to write the fucking thing. So my show was sitting at a bar like this and talking to the bartender about all my road stories. And that was exactly what that HBO special he put out like a year, not even a year later, was him at a bar talking to the bartender where he downs the 6 pints and never drink on an empty stomach. Which I still remember.
Yeah.
Never drink on an empty stomach. And I tell Bingo that all the time. Honey, you got to eat something. If you're going to drink, don't drink on an empty stomach. And it works. But I was like, yeah, I did a thing like that. He's like, yeah, I know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think. First of all, mine sucked shit. And he just took the staging from it to use for his own thing, because his was good. Mine sucked balls.
Do you want to know?
Because I didn't start writing it till 3 days before, when the deadline was coming up. But that's when people ask you, when did you find your voice? It was that, because I took true road stories and try to make them stage worthy, rather than saying jokes I think will get a laugh.
Like longer stories, like long form.
Transvestite hooker.
Yeah.
Banana lady. That all came from that. But
KP Anderson. KP Anderson pulled me aside one time.
I haven't seen him.
He just signed a big deal with Lionsgate. He pulled me aside one time, and I was pissing and moaning about the alt scene And he goes, they're always going to hate you in Stanhope. And by the way, we barely, I
don't know anyone that hates me, and I prefer it that way.
He goes, we passingly knew each other at the time. And he goes, they're always going to hate you in Stanhope. I said, why? He goes, because you're doing what they want to do in clubs. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. But the truth is, as road hacky as I ever get, I'm still fucking just the podcast has been an extension of our personalities, I think, more than the opposite. I don't think our stand-up's changed to fit our podcast audience. It's the same.
Good point.
You know?
We were talking about that.
Yeah.
How this is an extension of being on stage. You still have a voice, you still have something to say, and you have a way to express it to people that are looking for you.
A place to express it, because there's no comedy in town. So, I can do this and at least force myself twice a week to fucking say something.
Yeah, he showed me that night. I wish I could have better recollection of this.
You're talking about KP.
KP showed
more
me.
More better. Paul F. Tompkins just fucking unliked you. More better.
Again. KP showed me this story of you getting your dick sucked by a transvestite.
Yeah.
And he was like, I remember him going, they do this in the alt rooms, and Stanhope's doing it in Funny Bones. And I remember going like, fuck. Now, mind you, by the way, I think he was paying you a compliment to talk to me, because I was not doing that at the moment. Like, I really wasn't doing that at the time. I was literally like, you ever meet a bitch, she talks shit, and you put her toothbrush on your balls? That was my punchlines. But I remember going, fuck, man, that's happening in Funny Bones? Like, Funny Bones? Where they're like, a lot of beautiful women in here. Not in this room.
Those are the walkout days.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I remember the first time I was getting that bit working,
Transvestite hooker,
and Norton was going up. It was a Melrose Improv, and Norton was waiting in the hallways going up. And I get off stage. He goes, that's a true story, obviously, right? Yeah. He goes, I fucked trannies in the park, in Central Park, me and Voss. And I had this way. He just starts spewing all of his tranny stuff at me. And I felt like I'm breaking down walls. I'm the new Richard Pryor.
I'm the fucking Richard Pryor.
Now I can tell my tranny stories.
All right, I picked Paul F. Tompkins. Who are you picking?
No, it's 5 to you.
It's 5 to me. No,
because I went with David Cross.
Yeah.
Off of that.
Oh, that was your alt. That was your alt pick?
On the fly pick.
If I could do a slash, would be Janine Garofalo.
Oh, no, that was my next one.
Okay,
fuck, that was my next one.
You got it.
Janine Garofalo, I want to fuck her so bad. Earmark that
That's
one.
That's a different list.
No, I hope that didn't.
Because I don't think Doug has big.
Hang on, I'll give you the two from Gilligan's Island.
Ginger and Marianne.
Or Marianne. I'll give you Janine Garofalo or Margaret Cho.
Did I get to have sex with?
Yes.
Fuck. Wow, that's the yin and the yang right there,
so to speak.
Yeah, because you know that Margaret Cho is going to introduce you some shit you've never seen in bed. Like, she'll be like, "Would you like to be milked?" And you're like, "What?"
Wait, from what?
That's why I'm a Cho. I'm a Cho guy myself.
And you know that Janine, the lead up to having sex with Janine, but if she drank, if I don't know, I don't want to have sex with someone sober. But I can't imagine I'd be drunk and then she'd just be sober. Like, are you ready yet? But but I know for a fact she'd automatically hate herself after she fucked me. Like, she'd be like, oh, why did I do that? He's married. He's got 2 kids. And I'd be like, I'm a big fan of your first HBO special, by the way. I like the bit you do about Spanx. I'm just...
I would like to apologize to Janine Garofalo. I was mean to her on the green room, but not it was being taped, so I didn't have time to follow it up or how the edit came out.
Yeah.
I just called her on something that I thought she'd go, yeah, I was stupid for a minute.
Did you see that, Bert?
Well, yeah, I know I saw it, but what was it?
So
what was it?
It was the Green Room, Paul Provenza.
I know the fucking show.
No, but it was with Glenn Wool on there with you, Doug?
Yeah.
Yeah, stop painting around the fucking corners. What was the subject?
It was 9/11.
She was... kind of pro-Bush. It was, this is my first show after 9/11, and I know when it was because I taped my CD the night. I was taping all week at the Laugh Stop in Houston, Die Laughing. and it was a month after 9/11. But she had the Friday. She had so I had the Friday off, and I watched her. This is my first show after 9/11, and that was kind of a Bush apologist to a level that if she saw a tape of it, she would be uncomfortable with. She wasn't like pro-Bush, but she did it's time for people to, and I love Noam Chomsky, but maybe shut the fuck up for a minute because I was out on the fire bucket brigade line or some shit she did to volunteer. So I called her out on that, and she's like, I never said that. And if I did, why are you so proud to be in my face saying, oh, well, if you never said it, why would you be backing off and saying, why would you be so proud to bring that up? And I'm
going to go with Margaret Cho.
The beauty of that clip is Glenn Wool is there and he's silent for almost the whole thing. Glenn Wool,
word in edgewise on that show,
but Richard Belzer says like, "Who's this guy?" to like Glenn Wool, and Glenn Wool is like, "Where? What?"
I thought you said that about Doug.
He said that to me. He's like, "Who are you even?"
And you are.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I said something
read that
about
totally
selling
wrong.
merch. He goes, "What's merch?" I go,
"Oh, that's
your
right.
fucking book, How to Be a Stand-Up Comic that I bought when I first started that. That's merch."
Richard Belzer, is he dead? I'm thinking of Kevin Brennan. Not Kevin Brennan. Kevin Brennan. Has anyone been watching Kevin Brennan?
No.
Okay, do your last one. Do your last one, and then let's talk about Kevin Brennan.
Okay, number 5 for you was Margaret Cho.
No, we did
that was a side. That was a side.
No,
bet.
it's gonna.
So number 5.
I want Janine. I just want to. I'd like to meet her. I would like to see if we could spark it.
Hedberg was so obsessed with her in those days.
She's so beautiful, man. She is so like, and I'm certain this will get out to everyone we've talked about. So at some point, Janine Garofalo will be on a plane going like, "Fucking Doug Stanhope, who the fuck's Bert Kreischer?" Let me tell you something, Janine. I think you're absolutely beautiful, and I've thought that since I graduated college, and I watched you talking about jerking off a guy in a pickup truck, and it was like, that's the kind of chick I want to end up with. And my wife's kind of like her. I gotta admit, I'm not cheating on you, my wife.
I'm more of a Magghie guy because she's really fucking kinky, but doesn't really want to fuck ever. But if you do, it's gonna be weird, and I like that. I'm on path with either not at all or once in a while, just really fucking
Celebratory.
weird. Yes.
Yeah.
I want her to get drunk though.
Yeah, Janine would have to be drunk.
Okay, perfect date night for me and Janine. Okay, ready?
Should we dim the
She
lights?
starts drinking around 6. No, I'm kidding.
A.M.
I don't pick her up till 9. No, it's an old joke. That's an old joke I have.
So
But-
wouldn't she just
No,
call
I'm not
Paul
done
F. Tompkins?
I'm not my perfect date night yet. Hold on,
Oh,
Shanley.
sorry.
I want to go to Dave and Buster's with her. Like
The arcade?
drunk.
Adult arcade?
Yes, I want to hear her shit on fucking society. Like I want to see her pick it apart. I want to see her go like, look at this fucking mom in these shoes. Look at this fucking family. I want the full Janine experience.
But that's why she would have to be drunk,
Right.
she wouldn't be going from the part of her brain, this is what I should say, it's this is what I feel.
You fool her with
And
a
then you
round of
catch her in
Dig
some
Dug.
serious bullshit.
Yeah. Oh,
GoPro it.
Yeah. I've always had a crush on her. Always, my entire career. Who's your number 5?
I was going to go back to comics I've had a crush on.
You had your... Is it Janine Garofalo, your number 5?
Janine Garofalo
all
is my number 5.
We're good. We're caught up. Doug,
By the way, I have Margaret Cho coming up on my podcast in April.
Good.
do you need
they
a
were
special
like-
guest to walk in?
No, they were like, "Hey, do you want to do it at her house?" And I was like, "Well, I usually do it at my man cave. It's, and they're like, "Well, I think her house will be more fun." And I was like, "Well, I have people in my man cave." And they're like, "She pretty much has like a sex dungeon and like homeless people living in there smoking marijuana all the time." And I was like, we'll do it at her house."
If it's more
Hey,
comfortable
have
for
you
you.
met my homeless people yet?
Oh, you guys are homeless?
Yeah.
No, they live in a cave.
Oh, that's right. God damn it. You guys should wear name tags.
Wait, do you really need a name tag?
Yeah.
I think we needed to.
No. Who's your number 5?
They have smell tags.
I don't have a number 5. I was caught up in conversation. So now I'm going to stall by dragging you into something else. I have notes. You know what? Maybe we make him wait through the break. My number 5, Chappelle.
Oh, God damn it. See, that would be good for you. I know what I want to talk about also. That would be good for you because you and him could talk. He couldn't talk to a guy like me. He couldn't talk to a guy like Chris Rock. But you and him could talk.
I have a backstory, not much of one, but like he was at my 30th birthday surprise party because
where was that?
In Farfalla, weirdly enough, in LA. Christine threw it for me, and she just went through like all my phone. I think they were probably, I don't even think I had a cell phone back then. They were all like probably written down, like everyone's number in a
black
thing,
book or something.
Yeah, a day planner with the phone numbers, and she just called everyone that was in my book. So there's some people I'm like, oh, that's weird. They're here.
Yeah.
Chappelle was there randomly, and then I worked with him one time in San Francisco. Don't remember much about it before, late 90s, before he struck gold. So yeah, that would be a fun. And I always list him as one of my favorite. Ricky Williams and Dave Chappelle are the two guys that walked away from millions and went, fuck this, I'm done. Yeah. And I always respected that more than any comic success, is guys that can just walk away and went, I'm dead at the end. I want to enjoy my life, and this is bullshit. I don't need another Escalade. I live a decent life, and fuck it. So yeah, Chappelle for sure.
That would be such a great podcast. I wish people would, I really wish there was a component to this podcast where maybe like a Learjet sponsorship where they'd fly them into Bisbee out of LA.
We get that dude in the 4-seater Cessna in Tucson waiting for you to come to
Hey, Bert, let me just tell you
got
right
Stanhope in duct tape written underneath the wings. I mean, it's
What do
pretty
you want?
custom.
And we did clear him. I was going to say, when the second time we met him, he was flying in. Hey, I'm going to get another picture. I go, well, tell us. We're here. We'll pick you up at the airport. Brought him over. Asked him if he wanted a drink. He said, no, I have to fly. And he wanted a drink. And
How bad can it be when you're up there? I mean, like, you can't bump into stuff.
There are two like iPhone holders, seriously, on either side of like his control stick. And that is how he navigates. And that's the way it's done. I'm not trying to scare anyone or profess that I'm some fucking, like, I know everything. I was shocked too.
Really?
That is the way that they fucking guide themselves in.
let's preheat the oven for 425 and get some fucking frozen pizza in our head. And
before we break, I know nobody cares, but I just wanted to say as we break out that since I was lucky enough to be on the Doug Stanhope podcast, one of the people that I would fucking wish to be here is fucking Bert Kreischer. So
cheers.
This is fucking really cool to me.
This is fucking cheers.
Yeah.
This has been.
You're Chad's top five. You're Chad's top five.
I fucking own it.
Right on.
all right, we'll be right back. Hey, we've talked to you before about Audible.com, but are you one of those hipster douchebags who doesn't really count Audible books as reading? Well, you know what? I have the bookstore for you right here in Farmington, Maine. Twice Sold Tales. Come on down to Twice Sold Tales. You can get all sorts of. We have over 180 titles that you can come down and read, and they've been read before, so you know that they're good because someone read them and bought them, and then they gave them to us because nobody really reads books. But if you still like a clunky bookshelf, Twice Sold Tales right here in Farmington, Maine at 155 Main Street. Give us a call. Find out our hours. We're at 207-778-4411. Hey, what was that number again, Doug? 207-778-4411. We're Twice Sold Tales in Farmington, just somewhere a long way from Bangor. Enjoy your book.
Fucking lazy comic. You have no idea.
Oh,
You've been connected so.
Yeah, we do.
You've been.
Says the guy who hasn't done a gig in 18 months in the States.
18 months and 15 days.
I'm going to blow through this really quickly.
Oh, we have this too.
Because forever, we've been doing a bunch of shit. Yeah, Chad, if you want to pull that out, I'll let you read that because that's to you.
This came with the.
I want all you guys to sign the police beat, even Bert, because we put these in the merch.
I sign autograph, so when I'm here, it's
You're big time.
you know how it is. You know the struggle.
He's Bisbee
Oh,
big
look
time.
at that. Look at that. Look at mine. You ready for this? This is how fucking fake I am. And then I just go the machine.
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's way more, because yours looks just like mine.
If this is the autograph
similar.
off,
And I don't have a catchphrase, but how close is that?
Very similar. You have PS, I have BT.
You should write Shotclog underneath.
two guys who have been doing the road the same amount of time almost. That's exactly how their signatures end up.
That's pretty fucking weird.
We just
I
throw.
didn't feel drunk yet.
When someone buys merch, I just throw the police beats in. So
like that.
if you're lucky, you get it.
I wish I had a Chaille in my life.
Yeah, you need one.
I can't believe I have a Chaille and a Hennigan.
It's like it's a company.
You sound like you're trading Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
First of all, the Brian Hennigan model should be like a Swapcast. That should be the model. You get a agent/manager that does both and only works for you.
Yeah.
So he doesn't work unless you work.
Yeah, I was interested. I wanted to know who else does Hennigan work with? Just you?
Yeah, that was
Just
the deal.
It's so fucking interesting. It's so fucking interesting.
He gets what agent and manager would get percentage wise, total, but he only works for me.
This is such an interesting earmark this.
That's five, by the way.
Okay, the most fascinating part is because obviously I'm a fan. I listen to the show. When I told Chaille in the car, one of my biggest mistakes, going to bed, a little bit toasty, and I was like, oh, Doug's got a new podcast. Doug and Bingo break up. I wonder what this is. Fucking literally. You said it best, Greg, but I was like, should have boiled a pot of coffee. I was like, I guess I'm not going to sleep
I'm
tonight.
up now.
I was like, I'm up. I literally got up out of bed and I was like, I'm going back into the man cave and drinking a bottle of wine. I was like, what the fuck? That was probably one of the most interesting podcasts I've ever listened to.
It ain't over.
I can't figure it out right now.
That podcast is still in play.
Because you guys are going now. Theoretically, everyone's going to Daytona.
Yeah, Chad Shank just agreed that he could be a diplomat for 5 days in Daytona while we podcast.
5 days. What?
He nighttime drunk.
5 days.
You don't
I'm
have
sorry.
to go for the full 5
that was
days.
just a gut reaction. We didn't talk about how many days. I'm
He,
sorry.
he nighttime drunk agreed.
Yes.
You said there's
I've nighttime drunk agreed, I think 2 or 3 times, so I think that equals a one
Oh, is that it?
sober agreement. I don't know. You guys said I could hide.
Yeah.
All
The hotel is the gig is in the hotel. It's the top floor of the hotel.
La
So you just
Playa
have to
Resort.
Take a elevator up to the gig. If it's not your thing, you go right back to your room.
The best thing in the world is those wrought iron tables with the glass top in those Florida motels.
Fucking love it.
Oh, you'll be sitting drinking by yourself right there. Best
I'm in.
fucking thing in the world.
I'm in.
If I have a rap party on my career, it will be in Treasure Island by St. Pete.
I know that
and
very
Thunderbird.
well.
No, the Thunderbird Hotel on the beach in Treasure Island.
Revenge of the Nerds 3.
It really is. That-
Hotel Essex.
No, it is like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a motor hotel from the splendid days of Florida.
I wish I've always drove past those. We have a house in Clearwater, my family does, and I always drive past those old motels that are just on Route 60. And I've always tried to refigure out what you could use that space for. Yeah. Like, cause I go that it's all set up. Is it like adult night school? Like how do you fucking refigure those? I don't know. But
What is
Clearwater,
Is it Bert's Tiki?
No,
No, that's in Salt Lake.
it's
That's Bert's Tiki.
Yeah, Bert's Tiki Room is in Salt Lake, punk rock bar. You're talking about the Icky Woo Woos.
Yeah,
is the bar,
Tiki bar at the Thunderbird.
thing.
It's just this relic. They have the best.
They close at
spaghetti across
6
the
p.m.
street.
every night. They close at 6 o'clock.
Really?
Tiki
It's
bar,
fucking
but there's
ridiculous.
other.
Where is this at?
In Treasure Island, St. Petersburg, Florida,
Just south of
It's
Tampa.
A little nugget of just like Goodfellas, where they buy that casino
Yup.
in Florida. It's like that, but it's a hotel.
there's so many parts of that state that are like that.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I gotta say,
Or unfortunate, depending on what side of the street.
I love that kitschy 1960s, 70s part of Florida. Like I almost like want to buy houses like that were made with the stucco that are just square boxes. Like I miss that, you know, but I don't know, whatever. I have to say this before I don't know when this podcast is ending or if it's ending. I'm so glad Bingo is here. I literally one of the things I thought on my checklist, and the Hennigan's off it because he wasn't here. I needed Chad and I needed Bingo.
Hennigan is one of those don't meet your anti-heroes kind of thing.
Oh, I met him for the first time at the Comedy Store.
Did he give you advice?
No. No.
If he's drinking,
I'll tell you
he'll give you
afterwards
advice.
what happened. But Hennigan just fucking... Yeah, I like Hennigan. I like him. I think he's very funny.
He's back in town, by the way. You were asking me, you're following. You're like, is he still in Mexico? I'm like, fuck, man. What doesn't Bert know?
No, but I'm a fan of the podcast. Like, you gotta understand,
Yeah.
I'm on planes all the time. I'm literally traveling by myself everywhere. I don't travel with a crew. I don't have a group of people I get to hang out with. So it's just me. And so I get on podcasts and I listen to podcasts, and that's all I do. I know that his chick, I know where his chick lives. I know that he wanted you to edit that out. I won't say her name, but I know where she lives because I'm going there in 2 weeks, and part of me wants to find her.
Go to the restaurant.
I know what restaurant it is, and I'm going there in 2 weeks.
Excellent.
I practiced
I
being
thought she was
cool
going
when I
back
met.
to Australia.
Eventually.
Oh, eventually.
Not before I get there.
Ooh.
More guacamole, please.
Heyo.
I know the restaurant, the Trattoria he likes. Dude, how creepy is that?
Trattoria.
Is that what
Trattoria di Roma.
Yeah. I'm a motherfucker.
Wow.
I have no idea what you're
Doug
talking
doesn't even know
about.
what we're talking about. We've done
Definitely,
3 podcasts about this.
I'm out. I was going to say that I was practicing being cool when I met Bert Kreischer to not appear like I was too excited, and then Bert Kreischer knew who I was, so it was
Immediately.
pretty fucking weird.
I'm so shocked you look so close to your voice. Like literally,
You sound like a
almost
fat guy.
You are almost
Nailed it.
you are the epitome of blackface for white big guys. Like if you had been like ham bone, have you heard?
When we're done podcasting, I'll tell you some of my backstory. It'll be ironic.
Your fucking energy when you walked in, like obviously right before you got here, I said, obviously we're not going right into the podcast because the energy in the room is just 5 of us silent, trying to recover from yesterday. And you just came in and are like, it's going to be several drinks before we can do this. And your fucking laugh is so infectious that immediately, Chaille's still setting shit up when we're trying to
couldn't do it
figure out
fast
the
enough.
Adderall situation.
That was the funniest, and I don't think we've expressed it enough. I haven't laughed that hard, but there was no intention to make me laugh. You guys weren't trying to be funny. You were being reeling in the moment,
Hanging out in a bar.
and all of a sudden, and I always put it back to like the first time you ever do coke. There's a moment that you'll never get back. Is that moment where you see yourself in the mirror, and you've never done coke before, but you see yourself in the mirror about to do coke, and you're like, "Oh, I'm that little boy that cried at first grade, and now I'm about to do coke." And then you do coke, and you're like, I'm never that little boy again. I'm the boy that looks in the mirror and goes, I'm a motherfucker, you know. But like,
Maggie, you're sober, so remind me to show him my coke mirror picture in my phone. I want to use it as an album cover, but I can't. But I'll show you that.
I want to see it.
I'll show you after.
But I was that little boy when I came in, and you guys were not. No, there was no things on. There was no one was trying to be funny, and you were like, and I could tell you would like. You were like having a cigarette and you were like looking and oh yeah, those Adderalls. And you just poured 2 in your hand and you gave them to Chad. The way you guys tried to figure out what was what.
There were 3 different kinds of pills in this bag the guy gave me. I swear by Adderall. Like when they first showed up around here, it was early Super Bowl parties and people couldn't find drugs and I don't have a fucking connection. So they would just go to Mexico and get Ritalin or Adderall and just crush him up and snort it. And it was just awful. And I had no part in it. But just taking him as a pill for comedy, you don't like wake up all paranoid with a hooker the next day like you do with coke. It lasts as long as it needs to last. It's perfect stage drug.
We were proud of ourselves because we were actually taking medicine medicinally. We weren't abusing it. We needed to be talkative.
You had them in your big gorilla hands, and you went, "Does anyone know how many milligrams these are?" And that's what I lost. You have 2 pills. Like, by the way, all I can think is the only time this has ever happened to me in my life before was with Johnny Knoxville when I was like 25 years old, and he just poured some pills in my hands. He goes, "Take them." And I had 2 pills in my hand, and I go, "Who gives 2 to a person?" Like, and I put my thumb on one, popped it in my mouth, and he's like, "Pharmaceutical heroin, enjoy the trip." And I was like, "Oh my God." But I watched you go, "Does anyone know how many milligrams these are?" Oh, and then we
don't even know what the pill is.
And then
3 different pills.
And then I just took them before anybody could answer. 2? 2's good? Yeah, 2. All
Wait,
right.
when you ask me a question, you got to wait for my answer.
I keep forgetting that the first podcast with Bert, wasn't a swapcast. So for my listeners, your backstory quickly. I know you're sick of doing it, but with the Van Wilder Rolling Stone shit that happened.
No, I was in 1997. I was written up in Rolling Stone magazine as the #1 party animal in the country. Oliver Stone upped the rights to my life. I moved to New York, started doing stand-up. Will Smith discovered me, and then that's kind of my story.
Everyone can just rewind that part of the podcast and slow it down.
I like how you did it.
That's good.
I did it this is one of my favorite stories about that spiel. You know, you have your spiel that you tell people when when you were younger in comedy, they'd be like, "Were you going to do radio?" They'd be like, I don't know anything about you. You mind like doing it yourself? And you're like, "No, I got it." Like, no humility. "Oh, I got it. Or more humility. And then so I flew into Tanzania to hang out with this Maasai tribe, and this Maasai,
we've been there.
This Maasai chief comes up with a goat on a string with all his boys behind him, and he's like, "So I understand you're famous." I'm not doing the accent right.
That's French.
No one knows what
guy with
fucking
goats in
Tanzanians
Tanzania.
speak. Might have been a French colony at one point, like Vietnam. It could be a Vietnam accent.
"Would you like a flambé?" And he goes, "I understand you're famous." I go, "Yes." Because he doesn't fucking know.
Always say yes if
You're
they ask.
hauling goats.
You don't have Google.
This guy's got a string of goats. You can bet you're more famous than him.
He goes, "How did you become famous?" And I told him just what I told you. And then he's like totally unimpressed because none of that means anything to him.
You have no goats.
And I have no goats. I have a film crew in a helicopter. And he just looks at me and it's like silent. And I hate silence. And I go, "How'd you become chief?" And he just goes, "I killed a lion when I was 12. I was like, "Motherfucker!"
Drop the mic.
Then he cut the goat's neck and bled it into a horn and he made me drink it. Yeah.
That's when you have a rap party on your life and go to Treasure Island. Like, all right, it doesn't get better than this.
Go for his drop. Slit, drop, sword. Good night, everybody.
That seems way more comfortable to me than going to Daytona with you guys.
But yeah, that's my backstory. But I say it quickly because I know it. Like you've said it so many times in this business. But yes, and then that's it.
That's another great thing about living here is no one ever gives a fuck.
No one gives
and
a
if they
fuck.
do, they say it behind your back. No one. I don't come home from the road saying, having a talk about comedy. No one cares.
It's one of the weird things about LA is that you go home and you're like going to drop off, and then other parents are like, not like, where are you from? Where did you go? Do you know Trevor Noah? And you're like, I mean, Trevor Noah, I gotta say this only because I just said his name out loud. I know that a lot of comics will listen to this thinking that we talk shit about them, but Trevor Noah does not know me. But someone went up to him and was like, "Oh, I know Bert Kreischer, he's a comedian." And Trevor Noah just oozed about how great I was to that person. So I was like, whatever, I'll never let anyone talk shit about Trevor Noah. Because he didn't know me, but they were like, "We know Bert Kreischer." And he's like, "Oh, he's very funny. One of my favorite comedians." And they were like, and then I was like, he doesn't fucking know me at all. But I was like, what a cool thing to do.
Scott Thompson, or not Scott, but yeah.
Carrot Top?
Carrot Top.
Yeah.
Told me some New Year's Eve show I did. I don't know the year. It was late 90s at the Melrose Improv, where I closed the show by having everyone smoke cigarettes on stage because the smoking ban goes into effect January 1st.
Oh, really?
But he's like, "You're my new favorite comic." And that's back in the height of Carrot Top bashing days.
Yeah.
Everyone hated. He was I'm trying to figure out the lineage. It was Carrot Top that was the hated guy. Then I think there might have been someone between Dane Cook. Then it was Dan Whitney, Larry the Cable Guy. Then it was Jeff Dunham and Peanut, and it's been good comedy since then.
I can't think of anyone.
Oh, Mencia was in there. Was hated.
For a different reason.
Yeah, but from comics. Comics that comics hate. But that's when everyone was trashing Carrot Top, and he was immediately, no, there's nothing wrong with that guy. He said I'm his favorite comic. Probably
he was very sweet to me when I first met him. I met him back in
no doubt he's the sweetest guy ever.
Yeah.
I saw his show in Vegas. I paid to see the show. Fucking loved it. I'm a production guy, so I looked at it from the standpoint of like, why the backlash? This guy is talented. He has a fucking total crew.
When they had the comedy awards, and Bill Hicks lost posthumously in '94 to Carrot Top.
Oh my God!
So
I bet
think
Carrot Top even was like, "Oh, you should have given it to Bill." Yeah. Oh my God! What are you guys doing?
Even he would have agreed.
Thanks.
Thanks for nothing.
Thanks, guys, and then ducks his head. Incoming.
There's laser points on his chest.
Who is the next person everyone's gonna hate?
I have no idea. I don't see comedy. I would have to ask you.
I don't know. I know that I can tell you what I believe.
I don't. Go ahead.
What I think is, and this is, I believe this in art. And I'll say this, earmark it.
6.
When narcissism gets in front of art, I think people discover it because of the narcissism. And then they find it, and then they realize the narcissism over trumps the art. Like, I think that's how people hate things.
Like the spectacle becomes what you're looking at. And
so so it's more like I'll talk about this guy that I follow on fucking vlogs.
Write down the name.
No, I'll talk about his name. I don't care. This guy, Casey Neistat, he's a big vlogger. He's one of the biggest vloggers doing it right now. And all these vloggers, a lot of these vloggers.
That guy makes serious cash.
Casey Neistat? Hardcore.
Like not only a living, he's a guy who, like the one we were talking about it. I remember now, since we were talking about it, he's the one who like figured out how to fly first class for free because he gets so many miles every year. But that's
not really.
But that's one of his most popular YouTube clips, his vlog.
Yes. Well, his most popular is snowboarding with the NYPD. He did it when the big blizzard happened. It's the most viral one right now.
Like bumper sledding?
He's on a snowboard and he's got a ski rope and it's tied to a Jeep. So I'm gonna fuck this all up because I'm drunk. But so he's the guy that got me into vlogging, literally. This first guy, Mr. Ben Brown, is the guy that I watched it, and he had this one thing, Camping with Bay is the name of the video, and I watched it. And he inspired me. That's something they've always wanted us to do with Travel Channel, is inspire people to travel. It's really hard to inspire someone to travel. You know, like even these conversations we have about flights, that does inspire. But to make it happen on TV is really difficult. And this guy inspired me to travel. He literally, Mr. Ben Brown is his name. I watched the video. I was in Philly. I was just telling you this. And I thought, when I get home, I want to go camping with my girls. I want to go camping. And so I watched him, and then very quickly you get fed into Casey Neistat, who probably runs the daily vlogging scene. He's amazing. He really is. Production value, filmmaking. However, and this is my own personal take, and I'm a fan of his still, but his narcissism is in front of the vlogging. So he spends a lot of time, like, he'll never take out a moment in his video where people recognize him. Like, I think as you and myself, I think Chad included, if I get recognized, that does not go in my vlog.
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. And not only that, it's like, I would never want, like that. It's a humble brag. I don't want to do that. But he puts them all in his vlog. So in a weird way, you watch him, he's one of the biggest vloggers, but his ego is in front of his art. So in a weird way, it's hard to see his art sometimes because you're just paying attention to his ego. Like he says stuff like,
probably just us.
No, maybe, but his fans are little children. Yeah. Like they're like, he doesn't curse in his vlog because it's children watching it.
And that's what I was thinking too. Is a lot of the fans are attracted to that ego. I could do that as well, right? I could that's no different than me.
Yeah.
I don't know who this is, but that's how I see it.
He's very talented, and he's got a lot of subscribers. However, I will say that like you watch it and you do get lost in the story of how cool he is, and that's what his story is how
He's
cool
good.
my life.
He's good.
He's good. He's great. Yeah. But it's like, how cool am I? I run fast, and like his ego's in front of his art, and I believe that the downfall, when it happens, will be because of that. And I think that what happened with Dane, and I say this once again, this is not earmarked, but I think what happened is people believed that his ego was in front of his art, that there was more. It was more the Dane train of like Sufi, you know.
I think he needed that ego to sell that product, like the ShamWow guy.
Yeah.
He's not really excited about a ShamWow.
Right.
So he has to sell.
But what are you writing down, Chaille? You're freaking me out. Am I saying something
no,
wrong?
he's trying to plug your stuff.
Just don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. But no, are we wrapping it up soon?
No.
Okay. But like, that's what I believe. Like, and the thing about Louis that makes Louis great is that his ego is way behind his art. There's no ego with his art.
The opposite.
It's the opposite. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't shit on Louis, but
No, I'm not shitting on him. I'm saying what Chaille said.
Oh.
Like, yeah, his
The
ego's behind his
opposite of
art.
Casey.
His art
Yeah.
goes out first. He says you his art, and his ego's not represented in it.
I think Louis earmarked this. Don't. First of all your earmarks are fucking.
They're going out.
Who
They're
gives
going
a
out
fuck?
anyway.
There's
Who
no
gives a
such thing
fuck?
as an earmark
You do
on
not
this.
fucking fly into Tucson, drive with Chaille, and fucking drink with Doug to earmark anything.
The thing with Louis, I think he suffers from what a lot of presidential candidates, where he has to say the same shit, which is kind of humble bragging. Oh no, but they bring it up.
Right.
So he has to reiterate it. So when he, I spend 3 days with my kids and I don't work all the time, but that becomes lore. So every talk show, he has to bring it up because they bring it up. So a lot of times Louis sounds like he's humble bragging, where it's just because that's one of the things on his Wikipedia page, probably.
Right.
Where it's not that important to me.
Well, the thing that Louis makes Louis different, in my opinion, and once again, this is something I'm obsessed with right now because of watching these vloggers, is like, Louis never tweeted out a video of him going, "Hey guys, I got a secret, a big announcement coming Tuesday. Everyone hold on to your seats. This is going to be a game changer. This is going to change my life." He just said, "Hey guys, this is my new show, Horace and Pete.
Yeah.
It's available right now. Do you want it? It's $5. I bought it and I fucking loved it. I literally loved it. And I stopped and I went, oh, everything doesn't have to be one thing. It can be 9 different things. Kurt Metzger and Nick DiPaolo are brilliant in it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
Didn't
are
even
you
know
serious?
about it.
It's on my computer. You don't have to pay for it.
Good plug. You know what I love about Louis?
And I'm not shitting on Dane with the secret stuff,
no.
but like, but
what Louis does is he'll send out that email, and I get them, and I just got the 5th one.
yeah.
And he apologizes. Listen, half of you are saying, "Thank you so much. I didn't know the new one was out." And the other half are like, "This is fucking spam. I'm going to report you," kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's in his long-winded email is basically, "Look, I can't win here. I'm just trying to get you the information." And it is one of those things.
He's definitely a genuine guy.
Totally.
He's a genuine, hardcore genuine. And the same thing with Chris Rock. It's like I almost want to say they grew up in a generation that wasn't this almost like cult of personality, like this ego in front of art, where like, and I feel like, I gotta be honest with you, I feel like I'm a part of it with this machine. Everyone's chanting the machine when I go on stage, and I fucking kill a beer, rip my shirt off, and I'm like, ugh. And then you go, "What? I haven't said a word yet," and they're cheering. Like, what
But
is
you
that?
all grew up together.
Who? Me
We're
and Louis?
all old people.
No, I'm fucking young.
What?
Here.
Yeah, I know. But I grew up in a different generation than Louis and Chris Rock. Yeah, definitely. But like, I'm in the Dane generation. I think more than anything. I think
I'm trying to figure out how old you are. I told you how old.
43. I'll tell you how old I am.
42 on Wikipedia.
Really?
You check
I
his
am.
check his shit.
Let me-
Doug's
I'm gonna-
the ex-host of the Family Feud.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the vlogging, the thing that I want to see.
I hate that it works, that self-promotion.
It fucking drives me nuts because I go, I could have done that. I could have said I had a secret.
Yeah.
I could have been like,
Chad was saying about what's the fucking kooky name of the vlogger you were talking about earlier.
Casey Neistat.
No, earlier before we recorded.
The other guy.
Stupidest name
It was
ever.
off camera. It was off-
Fousey Tube.
Fousey Tube. Hey, I'm Fousey.
Hey, I bleeped that, by the way. We're not giving him any free credit.
Fuck that guy.
He's one of the guys that got busted, but got busted doing fake prank videos. So like the biggest thing, this is, by the way, I feel like my daughter talking to me right now because there's no reason you should know any of this. So there's a big group of guys that all did fake prank videos on YouTube that got like 12 million hits.
Wow.
And they just basically hired actors, did prank videos. And
That's revenue, right? That's revenue level.
It's revenue.
Yeah.
And then they got famous from it. Like, Fousey Tube is definitely, I mean, I think he's come out and said, look, allegedly. I don't fucking know. But
no one heard that name. Don't worry about it.
There's all these guys that did that. Casey Neistat never did that. He did his own vlog. Damn, at the beginning it was good. They were really good. There are some really inspirational vlogs where you go like, oh, this is cool. But if you put out content every day, you're going to get fucking bored.
His deconstruction stuff, I thought was really good.
Casey Neistat?
Yeah.
The stuff
where he's
that's
in his
really good?
workshop.
Yes. When he tells you how to
fuck.
this guy is really good when he goes, here's a cheat to being on an airplane. This is what you do. Get this. He's really good at that. This is how I organize my office. He's really good at that. What he's not really good at is like, I just got invited to the Oscars. And you're like, ugh. I want to throw up in my mouth.
What movie were you in?
Well,
I
you
just
didn't
found
do
out what a
anything.
life hack is this last year.
Oh my god! Is anyone watching those videos on YouTube where they make the cheat meal?
I've watched a couple of the life hack ones, and I those are the ones I watch when I'm going to bed shit faced.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish
With one eye?
I wish I'd remember this in the morning because that's a good one. And by the next one, I forgot what it was.
A bacon muffin. Like, how do we?
No, they have these like on YouTube. They'll have them, and I'll watch all of them.
Wait,
It's
what are you
basically
talking about?
All you see is like a bowl and hands, and then it's like,
Oh, I know that
and
one.
they're like,
Tasty.
Henry's
Tasty.
Kitchen.
No, it's Tasty.
Yeah.
Henry's Kitchen is great, but this is Tasty.
and
yeah.
they're like, do you want to make cauliflower pizza?
Yeah.
And then they just make it in front of your eyes.
It's a upshot,
Upshot,
down
upshot,
shot,
yeah.
down shot
Like a vine.
of a cutting board, and it's well produced,
yes,
well lit,
very well lit.
And-
that is, by the way, I never once thought of that. It
perfectly
is perfectly lit.
perfectly edited.
The more I drink, the more he looks like Ricky Gervais.
Have you ever seen the video of Ricky Gervais and Louis CK on a plane thinking they're gonna die?
No,
Is this a
like a
sitcom?
real video.
It is.
A panic video?
You will love it. It'll be your new obsession. There's a video that I guess Ricky Gervais had a private jet going back to New York, and he was like, "Louis, you want to just hop on?" Louis. And so Louis hopped on, and they hit really bad turbulence, and Louis feels like he's gonna die, and Ricky Gervais is laughing hysterically at Louis having a full-blown panic attack, and it is so fucking funny. And Louis like, "I don't want to die with you." It's so good.
So out of the loop.
Oh, it's so good, dude. My
I feel
YouTube-
like I've been put in Siberia, and
No.
like someone from the embassy, Bert Kreischer, is coming to talk to me. I've been here 10 years.
my YouTube
No
game
one's
is
come to
on fucking
talk to
point.
me.
All I know is about YouTube. I watched a kid yesterday. He was Googling Alex Honnold. He's a free rock climber. He was last night at the bar. He was watching one on his phone. I go, "Hey, stop that one. Let me tell you the one to watch." He was like, "What?" And I go, "Dude, type in free climbing close calls." And he's like, "What?" All of a sudden, this guy's on there. I go, "Have you seen the Russian kids climbing up on the fucking cranes?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Google that shit."
Fucking gnarly. When they're walking on the edge and looking down.
My hands sweat.
The Wire, or the movie they made out of the documentary The Wire. I was on the couch,
kid.
like holding on to it, and I feel like I have to pee inside of myself.
Oh.
Doug called me and he explained what he was watching. I don't know why you stopped, or you probably just got too nervous.
I thought you
and
had
I
the
go,
same
I'm
phobia.
fucking not walking up. I'm not walking to the portal to get up to this main, because I would vomit watching that, because that was fucking intense. That was the new one.
Yeah, but you sat there bored. And I'm going,
no,
I'm
no.
curling over like on my chair. It's the guy that walked the high wire.
Between the
Twin
World Trade
Towers.
Centers.
Yeah.
This was not the documentary, but it's the
movie
guy
they
from
made.
Third Rock from the Sun who's in that. I challenged myself to come up and watch it.
Have you ever done anything like that? Like jumped off a cliff or anything?
We went
Oh, at Treasure Island, we went fucking parasailing. Boring.
If I do another season of Bert the Conqueror, can I fly you out to do a rope swing with me or a cliff jump?
Absolutely.
Oh, shit, I've done some legit, like, I always say this. I say this in my, like, I've been skydiving a couple times. There's a moment where you realize, like, oh shit, I can't change this. I'm either going to live or die in 5 minutes. And I can't take a pill to fix it, or I work out or eat healthy.
I feel that way when I get on an airplane.
Dude, me too.
Do you ever, you've driven LA to Vegas, obviously.
Yeah.
They have the roller coaster at State Line.
Yeah.
And it's a scary fucking roller coaster.
Completely unsafe. And
So
probably
we would stop there it's like 4.5 hours to Vegas or whatever from LA. And we'd stop there, ride the roller coaster during the day or during the drive just to reinvigorate.
Yeah.
Because it scares the fuck out of you. You're like, oh, now I'm awake to gamble. Well, one time we stayed there. Me and Renee stayed at the hotel with the roller coaster. So we did the roller coaster and like, let's just stay here for a night. We got time. We're fucking off. And I started gambling and drinking, all jacked up from the roller coaster during the day. Lost my ass at Let It Ride. I play fucking stupid, poor odds games in Vegas. Lost my ass. And then I drunk. Let's take that roller coaster again. And I could have had my arms crossed, bad body language, boring. So I'm drunk. There's no adrenaline. Boring. Whatever.
that thing goes through like the hotel, like by rooms, right?
Someone's just going, fucking trying to right the boat. Oh, how was it?
The first time was great. Scared the shit out of me. Second time, I'm just doing math. How much can I get out of the ATM before midnight and then after midnight? I'm going to beat that fucking Korean fucker, that dealer with the smug look.
Oh.
So it would have been better if you were up on roulette and then took the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Best roller coaster ever.
No, it's drinking is the thing where all of a sudden it's not scary anymore. That's why you get the shit kicked out of you in a bar. I'm not scared of you anymore, Chad Shank. Girl swing.
Daytona 2016. Spring break.
Not helping, Bert. They're having and I think it's this fall, they're opening a giant zip line ride right near here, like the largest zip line through the desert.
I'm gonna
in Oracle.
I'm gonna throw my money in on this.
Saw that, yeah.
Zip lines are really cool, and they're really cool. However, the fucking money bet is a rope swing, like full blown legit rope swing. Like, dude, what they do is these guys put this fucking fulcrum, I guess is what it is, from like mountain to mountain, and they just run it across. Ropes tied into the center, and then they drape this rope from you to this one of the mountains. You just jump off a mountain and you free fall 450 feet and it catches you at the last 10 feet. Just, and you swing out.
It's like a bungee jump without the
Yeah,
spring.
that doesn't seem fun.
If you go back,
Chad, I promise you.
If you go back 4 Bert Kreischer podcasts with me, you'll remember when he talked about skywriting.
4 podcasts.
4 breaks.
How
4
many
breaks.
podcasts have we done already?
I still hope this never ends. I'm still having a great time.
I don't want it to go anywhere. I want us to fall asleep on air.
It stops you 10 feet from the ground eventually after they worked out the kinks. Don't be the first guy in line. Don't sleep out for tickets like Star Wars. Let him work out the knots.
Is
Bert-
that what?
The Lavender Pit in Bisbee,
Dude, that's where you do a fucking
that's
rope swing.
900 feet from where we were standing to the bottom to that fucking
We
cesspool.
jacked up city council as often as we can to do something with that pit. Like you could make
Get
them.
me in on that. I got the company.
Tell them.
I
Just
got
tell
the
them.
company.
We want no credit. Just
I got the company in South Africa. It's a company called I forget the fucking name. They do it at Moses Mbita Stadium, and I told them, I said, this is one of the greatest thrills I've ever had in my life. I want to do it in the States, and they were like, we don't know anyone in the U.S. Can you get us hooked up? So they literally, I was like, yeah, sure, I'm drunk, whatever. Yeah. Get back. They email me, and then I just send it to my managers and agents. I'm like, can we get this happening? And they're like, what the fuck do you want us to do with this? Like, we don't know anyone that owns a stadium. And so that's where we start, Bisbee. We do a fucking rope swing there. Let's bring back the 45,000 people that used to live here.
No, we have to move.
The problem with Bisbee is a lot of people don't want business in here or commerce because they busk so I'm just using you as an example, but there's a lot of people that sing anti-gentrification songs on their mandolin fucking ukuleles, and they don't want work here. They don't want this to be known, which I understand.
This is such a great city. I want carriage rides through the center of town.
In the spring, it's actually fucking beautiful here. There's greenery and flowers and everything, in addition to just being a cool.
He
place.
did ask, "Does this ever get green?"
Yeah.
As we're driving here, I go, "It actually, it's just
Monsoon
starting."
season, it goes from death to jungle.
Yeah.
And then everyone's trying to get the one guy that landscapes because no one works here.
That was the cliff he tried to jump off of. I remember listening to that podcast.
No, the Castle Rock.
Yeah.
I purposely drove him by the inn at
funny.
Castle Rock because I go, "You got to see that." He was vlogging at the time, and I go, "No, this is it." And then
Doug, you know what I was thinking about? Do you remember the Tempe Improv? Do you remember that hill that had Arizona written on it?
yeah.
That's what I thought it looked like.
Yeah,
I thought it looked like that.
Yeah,
And I was-
Scottsdale.
Scottsdale. And I was like, oh, wow, that's huge. And then to realize it's just like a 90-foot drop. It would definitely kill you. It would definitely kill you, but
well, if you had the balls to
Maybe.
jump off.
it would definitely hurt, right?
Cause you problems.
It'd blow out your heels. Yeah. I will be walking around in the ground.
There's
Let's talk about your book.
I was going to do this list of thank yous and then go to book talk with you and me and Bert talking books. But this shelf down here, we finally douched out. And I keep this shelf with all this stuff people send to us and I need to thank them. And then we never get around to it.
Yeah.
So I finally douched out this shelf and I made a quick list of things I found and people. Bingo. Someone sent you a whiskey girl flask. Has nothing to do with whiskey girl, but they sent it. It's in your box of to-go things to go to your outhouse with your fucking guy.
And the owls.
Angie C. from Dayton sent me Pop-Off vodka playing cards.
Really?
I don't know where you found those, but that was cool as shit. Thomas Walco, there was $40 sitting up. Actually, I owe you half of that. I paid Kenny for a bet.
Wait, what happened?
Anyway, I owe you 20. Thomas Walco sent a 6-page letter to both addresses. Somehow he had the hazard address too. $40 in each one, so I guess I owe you 40.
There's no hazard address, by the way.
It just went on and on. I skimmed through it, Thomas. It was mostly about my act. I didn't want to hear about it. Dave M. sent a speculum for the porn thing.
Got it.
Garen Easley. This is a fucking weird one.
Okay, following the speculum.
Garen Easley just sent a card where it said, hey, I'm an aspiring stand-up comic. The usual shit. He goes, I don't know how to write jokes. Will you please send me... This is hard mail. What do you call it? Snail mail.
Snail
Yes.
mail.
Yeah.
Hard.
I like hard mail better.
Hard mail. Please send me pictures of how you write your jokes.
Like snapshots.
Nice.
Well, he didn't include an email address, so I guess he wanted just photo booth pictures of a notebook.
You just writing like it's with a pen and paper.
I have
With
no
a blank
idea.
sheet. A blank
and then
sheet.
you with your finger on your chin.
Scratching your head. Maybe we Photoshop a light bulb above.
Yeah.
So either he's never gonna make it as a comic, or he's already that funny because he's fucking with me. Robert Breeze is the author of a book called Big Book of Cunts, and he wanted a quote for his book. It's like a encyclopedia of the different types of cunts, like they used to do, like mullets. Remember that old site with the mulletard and the mullet?
Yeah.
This different types of. It was a
Like
something cunt.
Vaginas?
there was a website that had different mullets that they'd name.
What was it called? It had a funny name. The URL was fucking hilarious.
No, but are we talking like he shows pictures of different vaginas?
No,
or
it's
you have it
different
down
type
there?
of cunt people.
Oh, okay.
Like, so what do you call it when someone buys a lot of shit? They're
Consumer?
materialistic cunt.
Okay.
So,
do you still have the
It's a cuntography.
no, I had to get rid of all that
Cuntography.
shit. So I just wrote down everyone to thank. There's only 2 more.
Cuntomology.
Michael Golden sent a bunch of stuff. I might have already mentioned this guy. He sent a bunch of weird shit, and someone sent you a box of ties. Chad, you have that letter.
You want to read the letter?
Sure. It's the only one left out here.
It says, Chad, I heard you needed a tie for an occasion and couldn't find one. That must have been on a podcast that I don't remember. Well, I had to go on disability a few years back and haven't worn a tie since. Hell, I haven't worn anything with a collar in 4 years. I thought you and your friends could enjoy these, or could use these. Enjoy. Love the podcasts. 98% anyway. But when someone says Shotclog, I hear Snotclog every fucking time. Mike Hackenyos. Thank you for the box of ties, Mike Hackenyos.
Thank you. And all your shit is welcome here at 212 Van Dyke Street, Bisbee, Arizona, 85603. We're going to throw in a plug. We'll do one more fucking break, and then because I think it'll work out to two two-parters.
This is going to be the fucking marathon one-shot Swapcast.
I want to give
Tracy, are you working on changing his flight?
Yeah.
Have you called Leanne to see if she's okay with him not coming back for a few more days?
I wish.
Are you headed home or are you going to dates?
I'll call her.
I gotta go
All right.
home. Hey, let's
No,
call
you
Leanne
don't.
right now. I want to get my P.O. box. Because some guy I met at a show, he was like, hey, you like bacon? I was like, I love bacon. He was, can I send you some? I was like, sure. So I gave him Leanne's email address. He sent me 15 pounds of bacon.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, this is what the fucking, by the way, that's the Casey Neistat thing. He gives out his P.O. box and people send stuff and he unboxes. That's the biggest thing on the internet right now.
That's
By the way, I feel like I'm talking to my grandmother right now.
No, I get what you're saying.
You absolutely
unboxing equipment. Unboxing
it'll
equipment.
Make no sense to you. People love unboxing.
I could have unboxed my samurai sword and got sponsors.
We could do it.
Followers.
We have a YouTube channel that there's one of our fans. What? Oh, one of our fans, actually, he's the one who takes the podcast. And when I put it out there, he gets our Dropbox and then he converts it to YouTube. And that's why we're going to do a commercial today for the merch. But that is one of the things is like unboxing your samurai sword would be would have been fantastic.
My wife's on the podcast. Leanne.
Hey, Doug.
I so have missed you. I listened to that whole 4-hour podcast and I just relived all the pork medallions that you thought were dry. They were gorgeous.
That was very sweet.
Hey,
Thank you.
can you give our P.O. box out?
And your hot dress was really hot.
Yeah.
That was very sweet. And I have to say a really sincere thank you for teaching my children to spit take because it is used often and never at an appropriate time in our house. So thank you very much.
Bert
Come back
just did it
anytime.
for real on the podcast, Leanne. Bert just spit take all over himself.
Yeah, that's because you're having a good time.
Yes.
It's okay.
Hey, what's our P.O. box?
It's 707 North Hollywood. I think it's 91602.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
I love
All
you.
right.
We love you.
We love you too.
All right, bye. All right, that's my P.O. box. If you want to send anything, just send it. I got this fucking 15 pounds of bacon, and I got so excited. And they sent a salted ham, like a salted ham leg, where they salted it and then wrapped it in like paper or something, and it wasn't refrigerated. And I was freaked out. I was like, "What do you do with it?"
Smoked, right?
I think it's been smoked and salted. So I guess you soak it.
It's smoked or rotten.
It's one or the other.
Well,
We're getting sick either way.
How often do you check your P.O. box? Like, this comes to my door.
Yeah, my sister goes to my P.O. box once a week.
Maybe it was just a ham when it got there.
I guess it's warm. I guess we keep it warm. That's odd.
It's sweating. Is that good?
Be sure to wrap it in a blanket from the P.O. box home.
It's not refrigerated. We need to
refrigerated? I guess not.
I think they take care of that at the post office. They're always looking out for that.
It's so funny that you say that the ham came to our P.O. box and the bacon came to our house. And the bacon was wrapped in ice, I swear to God.
The cured meat was wrapped in ice.
The bacon was wrapped in ice and the ham was left in our P.O.
So I'm saying, bacon is cured.
I have it in my man cave. I swear to God, I have it in my man cave. I was like, I guess you don't need to refrigerate it.
Sitting in the P.O. box is part of the cure.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Everyone says, are you worried about creepy people showing up when you give out your address? Well, for every creepy person who's showed up, some mail shows up that's really fucking cool, at least 20-fold. So we'll deal with the creepers. Chad's always good at the door.
Just the Bibles that have shown up over the last year.
And I have not played a show in 18 months.
I still can't
So
believe that.
people send stolen Bibles from hotels to me that we're going to resell for $50.
That's what I said. Bert looked confused when he said Bibles. You know about the Bibles,
well,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't think I've had a...
He knows way more about our podcast.
He knew who I was. That's
Certainly more than you two. That's for sure.
I know a lot. I feel like I'm very comfortable right now. I'm fucking hammered.
Hey, since
Let's blow.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on a second.
I want to plug your show.
What show are you
show?
doing right now on Travel Channel?
Travel Channel?
Oh, it's not coming out for a while.
All right.
But do you have anything to plug?
Come out to my taping for my hour special on Showtime, April 1st at the Irvine Improv.
Yeah. But before that,
Please, wait, hang on. Let's reiterate that. Please, Killer Termites, show up at the Irvine Improv April 1st, April Fool's Day for Bert Kreischer's show. And you know how to fucking do it right. You laugh at everything. You shut the fuck up. You don't yell out. And
Two shows, one at 7, one at 9. We're taping both of them. And then I have weeks in between there.
you have March 17th, you're at the Funny Bone in Columbus.
That's a Colin Sick to Work show.
And then March 18th and 19th, you're at Long Road Distillers, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yep, I'm in Michigan.
Long Road Distillery, sir.
It says Distillers here. April 1st. That's actually...
And Wise Guys in Utah the weekend right before April 1st.
Okay. That's not on your site, but...
I know.
That's when we're going to be in Daytona. He'll be at Wise Guys. Keith Stubbs, old friend, is I hope he's still a great guy, but he was when I was a young kid.
He books great guys. That's all I can know. Is that like it's Rogan, fucking Segura. All my friends work there. So when I got the offer, I was like, oh, thank God.
Cool. April 7th through the 9th, you're at Virginia Beach Funny Bone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you just go to burtperbert.com. Are we ending this?
No, we're taking a break. But I wanted to make sure, in case we're really hammered, we get the plugs in.
Yeah.
Bert. Well, that's with an E.
B-E-R-T.
Joe had to ask.
I have
what
merch.
kind of Bert?
I have merch for my homeless friends. I'm gonna give them some shirts.
We made up Gentrify Bisbee shirts. We're actually going to do Gentrify Bisbee at the break. Or your gentrification song. I gave him Gentrify Bisbee shirts. We just made them up with fucking spray paint and a stencil.
No, that wasn't spray paint.
know.
Someone spent a lot of time screen printing, learning how to screen print, and to fucking do
Whatever.
it.
I was trying
4
to
months
get to the
ago when I had
fucking
other
meat.
shit to do, and all of a sudden there was an urgency, and then I find them in fucking stuffed in the back of the Tahoe with like shit on top of it. I'm like,
We're
I'm
trying to
glad I
meet
stayed up
them out
late.
in the
Glad I
thrift
stayed up
stores.
late and fucking pushed through to fucking get these spray painted fucking t-shirts screened in my kitchen. Go ahead, what?
I'm sorry. I didn't know you needed that much credit. It's funny what you said, Bert, about ego coming before art. We'll be right back after this song about gentrification.
Have you ever found a sweet little town where the arts and music thrive, and the broke bohemians love it there, even though it's a total dive? But when rich whitey that society sees it could be something more, he moves in and prices rise. He opens up an olive oil store. The broke can't afford it no more. It's time we as the lower class learn to fight gentrification. It's time to scare off all these rich old boring ass Caucasians. Hold your cardboard signs right up in their faces. Let's say go back one of them fancy places. We'll sleep in the streets till the rich folk go away. Sleep in the streets till the rich folk go away. Tell all your friends who are gay or black to come on back to town and sleep on the streets till the property values go down. If you've got a cardboard, if you've got a vehicle, ask the rich man to fill your gas can. Make sure that he sees you when you rifle through a trash can. Do some artwork with a key across a new Camaro. Freak out that God-fearing crowd with pentagrams and tarot. We'll sleep on the streets till the rich folk go away. Sleep on the streets till the rich folk go away. Tell anyone with a Cadillac to back the fuck off town and sleep on the streets till the property values go down. Find the biggest mansion and take a dump right in the doorway. Have a sidewalk orgy now, I'm not just talking foreplay. Bring a couple pit bulls and a dozen sheets of acid. Nothing makes a rich old white man's cock go quite as flaccid. We'll sleep on the streets till the rich folk go away. Sleep on the streets till the rich folk go away. Tell all your friends who are gay or black to come on back to town and sleep on the streets till the property values go down. Spray paint the streets till the property values go down. Fuck on the streets till the property values go down. Thanks.
I like biscuits and mustard. I also like the Doug Stanhope podcast.
Bert, you need a drink? You good?
I am full.
All right. What?
I am full. I can't figure out where I am on this drunk list.
What do you mean? You're done.
No. If I can't figure out where I am on like if I'm the drunkest or the least drunk.
Oh, Tracy knows.
We should reveal. What is our when's the big reveal?
Fairly neck and neck.
All right, we've been doing the Tracey, our bartender, has been giving us breathalyzer tests between each break, and right now, who's on the scoreboard leader?
Actually, Doug, you're the scoreboard leader with 137.
Home rule.
Always nice.
Bert's second with 126.
Nice.
Hey, there we go.
You had a break there between the plane.
Chad's third with 106. And Chaille's in dead last, .082.
What is going on?
Wait, who's Chaille?
Chaille's working.
Chaille here?
Chaille might have to drive you back to the airport, because if this night goes as planned, I will be too drunk to drive still in the morning. I woke up for one of the days shooting the pilot at more than twice the legal level after 7 hours of sleep.
Those would be perfect to wake up with for me, and then my wife I just could blow a 1.8 and go, honey, I'm going right back to bed. I know I'm in no place to take kids.
Clearly,
to
you can see. Clearly.
Yeah.
What do you suggest I should do?
Listen, we're in this together.
Should I practice my unicycle now? Now?
Legally and morally, you should take the kids to school.
I'm a hazard right now. I'm getting in the closet having some cave time.
Before we get into this police beat with Chad Shank, I have to tell you, Chad, I told you about how the cop showed up as a welfare check on my broken heart.
Yeah.
While he was sitting here, I heard a police beat live on his radio where someone 2 blocks over on Hazard called because they had diarrhea. He goes, yeah, that's... fire station will take care of that. I know her.
It's not my jurisdiction.
Yeah. Who calls diarrhea call?
Who calls 911 for diarrhea?
I'll tell you. Who else has called 911, Chad? Tell us, break it down in this week's police beat. I just did that like Tosh.
A wire fell on someone's patio roof on Lowell Avenue. Fortunately, it was for cable, not electrical.
I'm telling you, you want to buy a house here, you have to know the dangers.
I need
this
that
shit
kind of-
happens every day. What else happened, Chad?
A tall, thin male with a beard, multiple black jackets, and shorts over his sweatpants was smoking marijuana in a parking lot on Arizona Street.
Paul F. Tompkins.
I thought it was Castle Rock Kenny for sure.
That sounds like my mailman.
A tall, thin male with a beard, multiple black jackets, and shorts over his sweatpants.
That is Castle Rock. You know the guy?
It's a guy named Leif.
This guy named Leif.
Chime in. We
No names.
finally
We've
one
always
time-
wanted inside information on the police.
We're going to
beat.
solve this crime. Hold on, guys. This is like Matlock.
Actually, they solved two. There was people that were we didn't say this on the podcast, but the one you read where some buskers were thrown out of the Bisbee Coffee Company, and 2 days later, there's in the police beat.
I remember this.
Smeared
I
cookies.
remember this. I'm a listener.
Torn up newspapers and
Smeared cookies.
Seemed like
Cookies.
cake. Oh, cookies smeared on the window. Yeah, they solved that crime too.
Was that yesterday or the day before?
No,
this right.
this one. Yeah, you gotta get her on a mic, or one of you.
Come over
Whoever's
here.
gonna
Come over
solve
to
the
me.
crime.
To me.
Welcome to a
Here.
stilted
We've
police
al-
beat.
Yeah, we've already talked about who it was. They're your friends, right?
No, this one.
Oh, this one.
This one she
Yeah,
knows. The tall, thin male.
Multiple
Yeah,
black
well,
jackets.
I thought it was this guy named Leif, but Joe's saying that it was that dude we brought over earlier today, Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like the.
He was recently arrested for having pot. So
The hippies are already bringing shady people around here. I knew it was
Yeah.
a mistake to
No,
let you
yeah.
in.
Well,
Too
not
good
only
to
did
be
she bring
shady.
shady people
He just
around
got a
here,
ticket.
while
That's not
she
that
was here
shady.
with the unknown dude, she goes, "Do you really have a security camera in here? Really?" Like, all right, stop now. You're gonna burn out your welcome real quick when I'm a fucking paranoid.
Don't get nervous.
hangover. All right, so you didn't solve shit. You go back to work with your crime buster dog there, Chompy, and you find out some real information we can use. Go ahead, Chad, out in the field.
A fox was found at the bottom of a 10-foot square cement water storage unit. The caller put a ladder down the tank with some board to help the animal escape and was going to call back later if it was still there.
That's the beginning of a children's book.
But there's no resolve on that.
No, well, there's a beginning and an end. I think the fox got out, right?
Well, they did not call back. I haven't got that far into the police beat, though.
Oh, is this a cliffhanger?
You see someone wearing a new fox stole down there by Elmo's?
Go ahead, Chad. We mock you while you're risking life and limb to bring us the true scoop.
A dog barked at something in the alley at Strong Row for over 3 hours.
Are these written as a joke? Like, is this
are
is their
actual
legit
calls.
police beats?
Yes.
This is fucking hilarious.
Bert, this is where our tax dollars go. If I paid taxes.
They're so well placed.
Clearly, someone is sitting down and penning this. They're monitoring a scanner.
I love it.
That's their job.
You can subscribe to the Bisbee Observer and get our police beat. I think it's bisbeeobserver.com. It's as quick as a Google search, and subscribe for like $30 a year.
I could do that. Cheer myself up. I have a fucking sex offender that lives across the street from me.
If you had the police beat, you'd know before you moved in.
No, I got Amber Alerts, and they not Amber. What's that one? Jessica's story. Not you know the thing where you look in it and it tells you who fucked kids.
Oh, we just go to aisle 4.
That's called
lane 4.
MySpace.
Sherry, just a big gossip at Safeway. She'll tell you about whoever's moving into town.
Keep going, Chad.
I have to wait for prompting and then I can pause. Oh. A caller named names of people going around stealing from residences in the Bisbee area, but did not have any proof and wished to remain anonymous.
That's not news.
That's gossip, right?
That's gossip.
That's fucking teetotalers.
That's fucking libel. What the fuck?
We should call in to whoever you call in.
Make the news tomorrow by just going, I think people are stealing stuff. I don't want to say anything. Click.
I said too much already.
I've said too much already. They're here.
The call's coming from inside the house.
You must get out of that house.
My only wish is that Hennigan was here in his Nanny McPhee voice to fucking, that sounds great, booze. You've been good, kids.
Oh, shit.
Be professional, Chad.
I'm sorry.
I taught your kids spit takes last time we did a podcast.
You fucked up his table with mustard. He's gonna fuck it up with vodka soda.
Booze everywhere.
That's all right.
It's got to come out of my blood alcohol.
The dogs will get that.
I just made Bert Kreischer cough booze out his nose. I'm going to put that on my new resume. Police beat and...
Thank you very much.
An individual that rented storage... it's Sharpied out. Let me cut. Start again. An individual that rented a storage unit on Brewery Avenue decided to move in himself. He used the electricity for his heater and for his computer.
That's one I don't even understand. Like, who called that in? Did he just call in? Hey, just letting you know what I'm up to. Moved into my storage unit. It doesn't.
Or somebody that's really jealous.
Who's the complainant?
Where's the homeless people? Is there a homeless person that recently moved into a storage unit that everybody's jealous of?
You mean, is there someone who
way better?
Did someone recently upgrade that you know?
Hey, I find this coincidental that Magghie and Joe are now on Twitter, and this person is stealing computer access from the homeless storage unit. It might be you guys.
Yeah, do you remember your Twitter handles? It's
it's Cave Magghie.
At Cave Magghie with 2 G's and an H. Gghie.
And
because Cave Magghie was already taken.
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, she does spell her name with an H, but...
Danny Bonaducci's email is, I'm not going to give it all out, but it's Bonaducci1 at something. And I go, Bonaducci was already taken? It's so odd that, like, Bonaducci, what a weird name to be taken.
Someone got Doug Stanhope on Skype. I had to go with a fucking number, and then I had to get rid of Skype because some cocksucker, I couldn't get it off my computer. I fucking got rid of that computer because some cocksucker kept do-do-do-boo-boo-boo-boo-boo on my fucking Skype, and I don't even know how to turn it off.
Doug thought he had to get rid of his computer rather than changing his username. Or blocking.
Well, no, someone... Anyway, back to Chad. Chad's out there dodging bullets in a blue UN-style helmet.
A deputy's presence was requested ahead of a board meeting in Bisbee that was expected to get out of hand.
That
I didn't even listen to that one.
That came
board meeting?
Someone requested cops ahead of time.
Oh, the board meeting. I figure Stanhope might have been at the board meeting.
Well, this just came up actually, where old hidden camera bit when that hidden camera show I did in the late '90s. One of the gags we tried to play. I was telling the cop this is going into police stations and trying to pay bail ahead of the crime. Just going into the police station. Hey, listen, I don't want to pay bail now because I've had a bad week. And I know how I get when I'm drinking. So like drunk and disorderly, because I don't want to be out of money and shit faced later.
Yeah.
And it was funny, but they would never sign a release because they're in uniform and they're cocksuckers. Anyway,
in Elfrida, a neighbor shined a bright floodlight into the caller's eyes as he was driving home. This was the second time that this has happened.
Repeat offender.
This is horrible.
You don't want your kids growing up in this kind of shit. I know you're drinking right now, Bert. And you're thinking about buying a house. That's
not
how I
such a good idea anymore, is it?
My kids I could love this. Fucking see my kids coming inside with the sweat on their top lip. You know, that little rain sweat on their top lip.
Pupils all small from the bright lights shining in their face.
Fucking sunburn as fuck. With some Mexican kid trailing them in a diaper. Are there any black people here?
1.5, or actually a half.
3 or 4.
3 or 4?
For the shoot, I had to call one from Tucson.
I remember this.
Josiah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Josiah, because Bruce was our go-to guy
saw
across
him
the
on
street.
Twitter. I last podcast, I listened to part 2 of the
Rap party.
How did that go? I don't remember it.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. I have notes.
All right, good. What else you got, Chad?
A man with a backhoe was digging holes in the caller's street to fill holes in his own street in Hereford.
That's fucking beautiful.
Is that how it works?
I think that actually might have happened.
To repair your street, you have to destroy another street?
Road cannibalization is a real thing.
That is literally yin and yang.
Yeah.
It's the attitude of people here. Fuck it, it's not
Borrowing
my
from
street.
Peter to pay Paul. Shoot it. I'll shine my brights on you.
As long as I'm Paul, I'm okay with it.
You should have just made a pool. Fuck you putting the holes everywhere for?
You got a backhoe, you lazy fuck.
You're gonna fill up holes. Make a fucking pool in a mountain.
I think Bert's running for mayor.
I could live here, man.
He's a
I
hell
could
of a
live here.
candidate
I've been
already.
looking. I've already been thinking about it. I buy property on the other side of the river.
Sure.
And we have border wars.
I know one for sale. The river is a gully on Black Knob.
Yeah,
It's
more of a ditch,
I'm gonna buy
but
one.
It's a river during monsoon
Yeah.
season, but other than that, no. There's one down here is a cute one right out here on Van Dyke.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking.
I want. You know what I
adorable.
want? I want the mayor's mansion on right when you turn
Oh,
right
yeah,
on that
yeah.
street. The mayor's mansion.
at the top of Vista
Oh,
Park.
Loma Linda.
Yeah.
I want that.
That's
house.
the one that Johnny Depp is buying. According to
There's an offer in. We can't say who's doing. I don't know who this
If
Johnny
Johnny
Depp
Depp's buying
is.
it, I'm buying the one right next to it. Then
that's been a rumor since I've been connected with Johnny Depp. He's buying that. Now Bingo and I are buying the Shady Dell. Since Bingo and I broke up, God knows what the rumors are.
You're splitting the Shady Dell?
He's moving. I think she's moving in with Johnny Depp. I don't know if it's the Shady Dell or the Loma Linda.
yeah, I definitely could buy a house down here, and this would be and just rent it out to my fans on a VRBO. What is it? VRBO.
VRBO.
And just be like, hey guys, want to go watch the Stanhope podcast? Stay at my house. I got keys to Stanhope's place.
I can get you in.
Enter through Chaille's backyard.
Hey, shut up,
100 yards
man.
away. Yeah, no one knows the secret entrance.
Are we done with the police beat?
No.
Yeah,
We're
never.
not.
We have one more story. A wolf hybrid dog with lupus needed to be put to sleep in Bisbee.
That's sad. That's out of all the ones I've heard. That's the one.
Hold
that
on a
means lot.
second. Have you ever tried to walk a dog by a yard that has a wolf hybrid in it?
First of all, that's how Whiskey Girl died, was lupus.
Yeah.
So there's a cliffhanger police beat.
For real?
When that dog that had to be put down for lupus, when that dog's partner finds out and kills himself.
Did
Maybe
you
I'm
ever?
going too far back.
That would be
That is
the
a
wolf
lot
part.
of level. That's a lot of levels.
Did you ever see the comedian with Jerry Seinfeld where they had Orny Adams in it?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I never finished it, but
There's a beautiful moment where he does Letterman, and Orny's joke was, I can't do an Orny impression, but it would be better if I could. I was on the bus.
no one knows him, so
No,
just
yeah.
do any impression. I'm Orny
He
Adams.
killed that Orny Adams.
I was on the bus. That's a good Orny Adams. He sounds like April Macy almost. I was on the bus, and I saw 4 people on this bus have lupus. I have lupus? Like, that was the joke. By the way, I'm ruining Orny's joke, and I like Orny. But the point was, Letterman's people said, we love the joke. We just want you to change it from lupus to something else. But lupus was the point of the joke.
Yes.
The funny word lupus is funny,
Yeah.
although it's a horrible disease. It's very funny. And he was like, lupus? And then he, in the whole thing, he's going, eczema? Like he's trying to change it to different diseases. You watch him try to reshape the joke into eczema? Plaque psoriasis? Like it's just it didn't do well. Now I'm getting drunk. Now I remember. Now
Pizza.
I feel like
All right, let's pause for pizza, and then I'll do some thank yous while we're pausing and eating pizza. Please hold.
I don't know you.
Let's bang out 15 more minutes of book talk, and then
We're gonna figure all that out.
Chaille,
Is Bingo coming up on
there's
the mic?
15 more minutes. Not unless she decides to.
Okay.
us.
We got Bert's
You?
dates in. Here, let me real quick. Let me just do Doug's dates. All right, I'm done.
What? I have no
Please buy
material.
t-shirts.
Bert, I burned everything. We did 2 specials. One in here just of old shit that I really want to have recorded, but got cut out of old DVDs.
Yeah.
So just as a test run. And that's the Pop-Off Vodka presents An Evening with Doug Stanhope. But then the real one we did there, I have no material left. So I can't go back on the road. I can use this. You know, you have that breathing place between when you tape a DVD and when it goes out to develop new shit. I have no new shit other than, current things.
That's all I'm thinking about is all the shit that's going on in your life. This is probably the most hot topic podcast going on. There's no podcast that is got more, like I said, it's so complicated. Like, it's so, like, as a fan of the podcast, I literally, like, I don't know, I got a million questions. Bingo, you want to come up here? Like, I fucking, whoa. Do you want a drink?
Sure you have.
I haven't been drinking.
She can't drink because she's going to go back to that fucking other dude's house. She's going to drive.
No, I was thinking about staying here tonight.
Well, now, because we made it so much fun, or
Actually, I'm
should
sorry.
I say Bert Kreischer made it so
I'm
much
sorry.
fun.
I'm here because of you, sir.
We don't have any
Are you
vacancy.
serious?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh.
Fuck yeah.
There's no room tonight, so
I was
we can
har-
put you up at the Grand, maybe.
I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken when I heard that podcast. I gotta be honest with you. I gotta be dead honest with you. Yeah, because you guys go together like peanut butter and jelly. Like you guys are the like I said, you're the thumbprint on this place.
Well, we talked the other day, and me and Stanhope decided Doug and Bingo is not gonna die.
Yeah.
I like that.
The brand is important.
The brand.
She's just going to live with another dude in the outhouse. And I'm like, you know what? We've had so much going on between the 12-day Super Bowl party leading into, 5 days of filming a pilot. Like, it's always constant chaos. And yeah, when that goes away, this is not going to be as easy as I make it sound on the podcast.
Yeah.
And yes, Doug and Bingo will never die, but at some point when you're living with some other dude in a fucking outhouse, I'll probably get squirrely.
I thought about you as we drove past where you're now living, and Chaille's air conditioning's barely working, and I was like, "Wow, what's that afternoon like? It's got to be fucking warm, right?"
It's all right out there now. I mean, the cold was worse because there's a wood stove there, and so when it was really cold, you wake up in the middle of the night, you have to stock the fire. And
I hate to, okay, for real earmark this, but like Chaille was saying that he was like, fuck. For real earmark this because it might be uncomfortable just in the room.
No, uncomfortable is good.
Double earmark.
But like, no, one of the
Crank
things
it up.
that he was saying is that whatever's going on, that you're very happy, that you're figuring things out with you. And one of the things that really bums me out about you is what?
Creatively,
yes. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But one of the things that always bums me out is like one of my favorite episodes of this podcast ever is when Doug went to your house and met your mom and your sister.
Yeah.
Was it your sister?
Junior?
Junior Stopka was there, Grandma.
It was such a great. If you've never listened to it, go back. Do you know what episode it is? Go back and listen to it.
it's episode 38.
It is one of the coolest insights to you. Because I always feel like my youngest daughter Isla's a lot like you. Very different, beats the but complicated, very complicated child. But that was one of my favorite fucking episodes. And then I told you I went to bed one night and I was like, "Oh, just listen to this. Doug and Bingo break up. This is got to be a hilarious one." Fuck! I'm like sitting up in bed and my wife's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I can't talk right now. I'm getting up and going to the man cave." But I liked that. One of the things that, and this all is just Chaille telling me in the car, is that Doug is a very complicated person, as are you. And he said one of the cool things that you seem to be very happy creatively, and Doug is happy that you're that happy creatively. And I was like, that's fucking awesome.
That's a fair assessment.
She's never been on stage, and she got up on that stage the other night and played 7 different songs.
Yeah.
She would never go on stage. Like, if that's what you're doing, it's worth it.
Yeah. This is, I think everyone's in this house everything's loaded. We're all loaded, meaning like, I'm broken. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but I don't know. I don't know. Fucking just brought this into a sad cast.
No.
No, it's all real. That's what's great about the fucking sad cast. It's all real.
Dude, when you said
fuck Shotclog. Let's go with sad cast.
a sad cast.
When I did your podcast a couple years ago, I was really new at this. I still feel like I am because I still don't put effort into it. But I was saying, we had some ideas. We were going to go with the Blotto biography podcast. We had the nebulous few first shows. But I said to you on that I want to keep this dark thing we got going here. Like I like. Making light out of darkness and all that shit.
You have no idea. For a listener, there's a moment where in the Doug and Bingo breakup where Bingo says, no, do you want to be real about this? Do you want to be real about this? I know you guys edited right after that, but what was real about that? As a listener, I literally was like, I'm not going anywhere for fucking 10 minutes. But the thing is, I don't do that on my podcast. I definitely don't. I don't share too much reality on my podcast of my life. Too much, I don't think, but I'm scared of it. That's the thing I love about this fucking podcast. It's like, what was the one you did when you woke up this morning for the post party one? I was like, that's what Doug sounds like in the morning. This like,
like Margot.
To be fair, Doug, your voice in the morning is exactly like what he just did, but you were like answering, like you were mid-sentence answering a question I think Hennigan had, and it sounded horrible. And I go, Doug would love that this goes in the podcast because it is worse because then you're looking at you and hearing the voice and you feel sad. It's like this. He should be in bed.
No, but I wish there was more people that got this part of the business or this part of the entertainment business where they go, hey, no, I put myself out there. I hope you connect with it. It's one of the things that, it's like one of the things I love about Bingo is that when we're all having dinner with my kids and Leanne goes, so where's your girlfriend? And Doug's like, oh, she had edible marijuana last night. She's trying to figure out life, piece it together. We almost had a Baker actor. Like
that was after Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, that was after Manson. It wasn't edibles. It was, But
my wife was like, okay. But that, I don't know. I don't know what
that
I'm
was
trying
for
to
real,
say.
by the way.
Yeah.
We dealt with that when he came back from the fun he had with you.
The Airbnb guy shows up to fix something.
I didn't think he was real, so I wouldn't respond to him.
And
I wouldn't respond to him.
We had an Airbnb after this fucking night of just every rock and roll thing you would expect at hanging out at Marilyn Manson's house with just him and his girlfriend. Like just everything that you would imagine that it
happened.
Yes. And so I had 3 hours to sleep before I woke up and did Bill Burr's podcast, then got an Uber over to you in the valley to do your podcast. Yeah. And she, in that 3 hours I was sleeping, she was gacked out, off her meds kind of. And the guy that owns the house, the landlord of the Airbnb shows up and walks in because he had to fix something or change something. I don't know. But she wouldn't respond to him because she thought he was imaginary.
I thought it was edible marijuana. That's so funny. It's such a better story when it's coke. I was like, wow, usually you go to sleep.
I love that he G-rated the story for your family.
Yeah. I'm happy you're happy. I'm happy that you're creatively happy. I want you back here. That's for me, but I want you to be happy.
I am going to be here.
Yeah.
It works out.
It'll work out.
We're diplomats.
We are indeed diplomats.
Was there anything I can send to the cabin?
There's no address. He's off grid. There's no address.
While you're at it, send some merch to the cave for homeless Joe and Maggie.
I'll tell you what. You know what? Send everything you want to 212 Van Dyke, Bisbee, Arizona.
Address it to the outhouse boy.
I'm going to send a Ggreg. Stand out. We're having a hard time making hot water, but we got a coffee maker with pods.
Oh, if we only had a plug.
There's a generator out there.
So then let me.
We don't own it, but I hear there's a generator out there in the vicinity. Sounds like electricity.
Most expensive cup of coffee. So you're. So have you read Doug's book?
Actually, I was.
He's read a lot.
I was going to use that as a segue, and I forgot.
Really?
The what do you call it?
Forward.
No, the dedication.
Yeah.
This is to Bingo. And I know people are going to read the book and go, wow, he probably should have changed that before she fucking dumped him. Yeah. No, I left it in there on purpose. It said, this is to Bingo. I took out retarded.
And you put, what'd you?
Smartest?
No.
By the way, all I'm thinking is slurs in my head.
Potato head.
Potato head.
I know you're a potato head. You'll never be able to read this book, but you were there. I read you most of the good parts.
Yeah.
Already while I was writing it. Thanks for being there.
Yeah.
And then something else about mother. No, I'm not taking that out.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking Adderall Jack out of the fucking acknowledgments at the end.
Who did your the most important part of the book? I think I know this actually.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp
is the one I had to wait till the last minute where the fucking publisher just said, listen, if it doesn't come in, it's a forward, but it's one long run-on sentence.
Really?
On purpose.
Yes, that he'd been working on for 2 months. And he showed me when I was out there in January. He's like, this is what I got so far. I'm working on it. And the publishers are finally like, we're going to print. If it's not there by Friday.
Really?
And so Friday
It's
afternoon,
brilliant,
he
though.
got it
Really?
in.
It's brilliant.
So good. So
And
good.
Louis,
so good.
And Louis, because there's a few quotes that they're going to use on the back that they just stole from like an interview with Louis about when I was on the show. And so it's not, he didn't give it to me.
Yeah.
And there's a tweet from Sarah Silverman and a Ricky Gervais quote. But Louis is the one I like. All right, I go, I'm not comfortable using this without you saying it's okay to use this because that's from an interview. And then he wrote back with a fucking almost as long as Johnny's.
Really? As good and as different.
Really?
It's stupid. It's like it's good.
Shut up.
Yeah. If Stanhope shares something with me, that means it's good.
Chad is my guy that I
Wait,
always
can you
go
read
to.
it yet?
No.
Oh my! Those are really hard to get because you feel embarrassed to ask for them.
He'll show you off mic.
I didn't. Johnny Depp, I probably passive aggressively asked for, and he goes, absolutely. But it's, I know he doesn't get around to shit like me. I say absolutely to a lot of stuff I fuck people over on because
I say it nonstop. That's all I say is absolutely. I got Mark Maron wrote a really fucking good one, like legit. And then Mick Foley, the wrestler, wrote a good one. He was on my podcast.
Wait, the wrestler or the comic?
It was both. And then I think that was it. But I wanted to talk to you about the marketing of your books. I hated the marketing of my book. I hated it.
I'm just getting into that phase where I think they moved it from April release to May. Maybe because they're waiting for the Johnny Depp quote because they know that's probably going to triple the fucking
We're waiting for the
sales.
shoe to drop, is what he's trying to say.
No.
We don't know what's going to happen.
We had a marketing meeting where it's just LA fucking talking heads on a conference call with me and Hennigan all on different phones. And
oh my God.
Well, we can't
star was Bert.
Well, I was plugging
so
the Amazon
frustrating.
pre-order, and they're like, "Well, we
Can't do that. We're going to piss off Barnes & Noble.
Exactly.
If Barnes & Noble gets pissed off.
Exactly what it was.
If Barnes & Noble gets pissed off, they won't promote it on their front thing. Can you tweet a link to the Barnes & Noble and the Amazon at the same thing?
Hey, give us the Barnes & Noble link. Okay, we'll get it to you. Nothing.
Yep.
Still nothing.
Yep.
No, they did. Hennigan said he just got the links today.
Dude, I wrote a chapter in my book about the time I worked at Barnes & Noble and got fired for working out in the basement in my underwear, and fucking they wouldn't put it in. They're like, well, this will piss off Barnes & Noble. And so we didn't put it in.
Oh, fucking the lawyer meetings. The lawyer meetings.
Oh,
I
they
had
start
to
off
change
with, like-
every fucking name. Like one just ancillary.
That's a good call. That's a good call, by the way. I kept them all in, and then you get a phone call from Jenny Powers going, oh, I guess I was a whore in high school. And you're like, shit. Did I put that in there? She's like, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Tell about the lawyer. chapter 8 or whatever it was.
Well, that was just a funny beat. The first time we did the conference call with the lawyers about, this should be changed. One guy from 1985, a guy that I went to acting class with when I first moved to Hollywood on a errant run. Yeah. And then bailed out quickly because I learned about life. And it's just some kid, a guy from acting class who was mentally, I used the word imbecile in the most glowing celebration of this human being's life. Well, you did call him an imbecile. His name's, can you change his name? Yeah, I'll change it from Antar to Anton. How about that? Like that guy's still around in a fucking mental institution suing you.
The last chapter of my book, I talk about meeting up with this mafia guy on my honeymoon. I can keep his name in.
I love that fucking story.
Keep his name in. I can keep his wife's name in, or his girlfriend's name in. But in the book, I described his tattoos. Or his tattoos. Why am I saying
tattoos?
That weird? Tattoos. I described his tattoos.
Do I have to bleep any of that? Is that a real name?
There's no way I'm going to be sober enough to
Is that a
drive
real
you
name?
in the morning.
Earmark.
Tattoos.
Earmark.
Tattoos.
Okay.
And they were like,
plane.
You gotta. And they were like, gotta take it out. And that's why I had to change his tattoos. And it's just tattoos. Why am I saying this so fucking weird right now? Tattoos. Tattoos? That sounds weird though, doesn't it? Tattoos? Tattoos?
They're both weird.
Tattoos. Tattoos.
I changed every fucking name in that book.
It's a good call.
To the point where when I was like last minute rewrites, I'm reading like Dory. Who's Dory? Oh, that's the fucking, because I was always on a conference call. Like if I had time to change the name, I would try to find some like subtle, like I'm going to use someone else's name that's that much of a cunt.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm going to have to change the names in my book? Because it was a journal.
You're going to have to go down your own journey. Ask your outhouse man. I have no idea. Bingo has I don't know if you ever dated a comic or an artist where they're gonna show you their shit and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to lie. And she has diaries from her time in the mental institution that are fucking brilliant.
I would pay money to read those.
Oh, good, because it will be available on Amazon at pre-order at DougStanhope.com.
There's been times, Bingo, and you don't know this about me at all, but long ago, back when that Reverend guy was in your life,
Father Luke.
Mm-hmm.
I knew who you were back then.
Whoa.
And I would Google like, I don't know. I guess I must have read him from your vlog or your blog that you did.
No. He used to do updates regularly on his website.
Yeah. And I knew
we talked
who you
about
were
this
back then.
heavily on the last podcast.
Someone told me the other day, they were like, I've never seen Bingo. And I went, are you fucking kidding me? I go, you can find pictures of her naked on like, I've seen those. And they're like, shut up. And then I showed them, they're like, holy shit, she's hot as fuck. I was like, I know, legit. But I would definitely pay money to see those, the insights of your mind.
It's 12 years in the making. She just won't put it out because she knows that if she puts that out, then she has nothing or in her head. So I just need a couple more things. It's been done.
It's
I think you should do it.
Well, we have the coloring book. It's almost there. So there's always another project.
All the good stuff that does for people that, like, I'm not saying I'm definitely not as far off as you get sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm far off. Like, I've spiraled. I don't know what your spirals look like, but I know what mine look like. And they're usually in a fucking foreign country, sweating in sheets, and I'm fucking calling someone, and I'm like gagging in a bathtub, and like, but they are going to help somebody. Trust me when I say that. So,
Bert, you talked about like 17 podcasts ago, intrusive thought with Maria Bamford. You guys were talking about that?
Intrusive thought, yeah.
Intrusive thought. And it's like, until you said that, I didn't even know what that was. And then you guys explained it. And that is something that I'm aware of now. And I know people like
Super normal.
With Chad, they dial into what he's talking about because him and Bingo talk about real shit.
Mental illness.
And there's so much information like the healthcare professional should know. because it's the inside of all of the patients' stories. It's not just my story.
Well, the problem with healthcare professionals, I don't know everything, but like I know that when I've shared my issues that I have with people, they just compartmentalize it. It's not like they have issues themselves. What I want is someone with issues themselves. Like one of the big problems I have in life that I can't get rid of, and I work really hard to, is I'll recite a lyric over and over in my head again, like I just over and over and over again, and then I'm laying in bed and I'm twiddling my toes and I'm like just going shot claw, shot claw, shot claw, shot claw, and then just over and over in my head. And I'm fucking
Exactly.
The weirdest thing, Bert,
They're not even real lyrics.
Bert, I want you to keep talking, but like everyone is fist bumping and high fiving as you're saying this, looking into Bingo's eyes, and everyone's agreeing with you.
They're not lyrics. They're nonsense child. Like I hear something on CNN and I put it to music in my head, and then it's there in my head, just some silliness repetitively.
I sometimes have Mexican people arguing in my head. Is that intrusive thought? That's very intrusive.
Know the language.
I don't even know what they're saying, but they're very clearly angry.
Dude, don't get me wrong. That first note of ba-da-ba-la-la-bam-ba has been in my head doing laundry over and over and over again. And I'm like, how do I stop Richie Valens?
The other day I was over here and I was having a really rough time, and it was because every song from the musical Popeye was stuck in my head. I didn't know I knew all of those songs until they were stuck in my head, and then it was very annoying.
So my daughters will they'll do rhymes that they catch out of a sitcom or like a thing, and I have to tell them, I'm like, legit, like, stop it, you're actually making me crazy. Double stack pancakes, double slap flapjacks, and I'll go, stop it. No, you know I'm going to be doing that in my head for the rest of the fucking day, and then I'll get nothing creative done because I can't get it out of my fucking head. The problem is these healthcare professionals don't fucking know how a brain works. I think they take some classes and they're like, we get it, give them Xanax, you know? But write that fucking book and put it out.
It's written. It's done. It's done. And it comes with a CD. I wrote a CD, so it's got a music album with it.
Yeah.
Wait, Bert, were you talking about the book or the coloring book? I just want to...
All of it. I'm fucking hammered.
Put it all out.
How am I getting to the airport tomorrow?
I don't know.
How many hours of podcasting have we done?
17.
This is perfect.
We can be done.
I can keep going.
I was going to talk about your... I know if we say we're done, we're going to sit over there
and just keep podcasting
and go, why aren't we podcasting? This is great.
The craziest...
When I was writing my book, I read a few comics books and I read your book. Yeah. Like, just when I need to get on track, I'm going to read another book. Like, I don't know how to write. Okay, I'm going to read, and then, okay, that'll get me back on track. And your book was so good. And
thank you.
One of the stories, which I didn't remember until I listened to our last podcast 2 years ago, was when I was saying, I should write a book. I want to, but I'll probably never get around to it. And you made some reference to your story that everyone wants to hear. And I go, you're like, I have to do this every night, the story that everyone wants to hear. I go, I don't know what that story is. You're like, I'm not going to make you do it. You just told me you're sick of telling it, but that's in the book.
What story is that?
The machine.
Yes. So funny. I thought you were going to say the Tracy Morgan story. That's the one everyone wants to hear. Right now, everyone's like, because I won't tell it on stage. That was a crazy one because the lawyer had to sit and go. So, like I'm talking. I had to lay in a bed and go, this is on your house. Did this happen? Yup.
I heard that story somewhere.
Yup. I think you might have heard someone else tell it.
No, you heard his audiobook.
Oh, yeah. That's where I heard it. Audiobook.
Is there any way to hit pause on this?
Yeah.
You have to understand when Doug...
You're not the only one drunk.
When Doug wrote the book, it wasn't in here. It wasn't all fucking lollipops and rainbows.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the bomb shelter over at the other property.
Where you going?
No, she had...
my book.
Go get your book.
I have a copy of it in the room.
Go get it, yeah.
Okay.
When Doug wrote his book, he was in like a 12 by 12, like fucking... like
cinder block
outbuilding from the house that you saw across the way. And he just fucking hunkered down in it every day. And whether he wrote or not was up to him. And at times he would just read your book.
Just go
or
fucking
read.
insane.
Dude, don't think there's 2 compliments I've gotten in this business that I distinctly fucking remember. One was, I think it was a direct message or on Twitter or an email or a text. I don't remember, but you telling me I'm reading your book and I fucking love it. I was with my crew and we were in a car and I went, someone read this out loud to me. And the other one, and I can tell you that where I was in San Antonio, and Patrice tweeted mad props to Bert Kreischer on Twitter at Mention Me, to Bert Kreischer, who has a show on Travel Channel. I'm a big fan of his. It's good to know that you can work hard in the game and succeed. It was like, I didn't even read it. My cameraman came in, Scott Sands, and he just goes, dude, did you see what Patrice has tweeted about you? And I was like, what? And I fucking read it, and I literally sat down, and I was like, oh. Like, those things mean so much.
Chad Shank is my go-to guy every time I get like a celebrity thing where you go, I have no one to brag to anymore.
Yeah.
It used to be my mom. My mom would be excited. Yeah. But Chad Shank's like so out of the social loop, I can call him up and go, listen, I have no one else I can tell this to.
Yeah.
But so-and-so just tweeted me this or texted me this or, yeah. Because otherwise you're just like, you're fucking bragging to people.
Yeah. To retweet those seems like a brag. So I just go, and my wife doesn't give a shit. She's like, well, literally, I remember reading her your thing about my book. I go, hey man, can you believe this? Babe, Stanhope read my book and he liked it. She was like, it's a good book. And I went, no, you're missing the point. I go, you shouldn't like it. And she was like, no.
A couple of months ago, I came in here and was trying to be nonchalant and be like, Bert Kreischer followed me on Twitter. It's probably like an accident. I don't know, but
he dropped his phone.
Yeah.
He has 30 ways why you didn't follow him.
I tried to tag you in a photo tonight. I posted a picture on on Twitter about
at
us.
HD Fatty.
I put tag Doug in it. And then I went to tag you, and I couldn't find you, and I was like, motherfucker, what's this thing? So I pulled Doug's tag out of it, and I was like, just partying in Bisbee.
I
what a gentleman.
For those who know.
What a gentleman.
Yeah, the marketing of a book drove me nuts. They wanted to pit me as the Van Wilder guy.
How worst person you had to call to get permission from a lawyer? 'Cause
I never.
You didn't have to call people from your past.
Nope. I did. I literally. My thing is, the machine story I tell about. For those of you who don't know, I got involved with the Russian mafia and robbed a train. That story is so outrageous.
That little thing.
Actually, you can tell that because we didn't. The last one wasn't a Swapcast. So go ahead, fuck it, fuck your fans. They've heard it.
You've never heard it?
Well, I had your audiobook.
It's in the book.
Yeah, I can tell it very quickly. But I'll tell the abridged
just because I read your
yeah.
book and he heard your book doesn't mean my listeners know.
Tell it the way you told your biography earlier, just like in a monotone, really fast.
Well, it's funny too. I got involved with the Russian mafia. Here's how it happened. No, I went to school at Florida State, and I was a horrible fucking student. Like I was there for all of the 90s. Like I was there during grunge music began when I was a freshman and ended before I was even out of there. So this is how bad of a student I was. I signed up for a Russian class, thinking it was Spanish, and I didn't realize until 3 classes, I don't think this is Spanish.
Wait, 3 classes?
3 classes. But there was a big marijuana ecstasy phase of my life.
Get FSU, right?
Yeah, FSU, the Diffenball building.
Oh, fucking party is fucking school every other year, usually.
Oh, that's how I got discovered as the number 1 party animal. Yeah. You got to realize this is the beginning of me becoming a party animal, in my opinion.
Please tell the full story.
I'm telling the full story, but I want it to be a conversation. So if you have any questions in the middle of it, just jump in, ask me anything, and I'll
probably pipe in.
Please.
I vaguely know the story.
So for real?
Yes.
Where's my cocktail?
Right there.
So I go to leave this class because it's not Spanish.
What year is this? Hold on. You said
1990. I'm probably 21 at the time. Just turned 21. So probably 1994.
Okay.
So I go to leave the class. The teacher, she was hot as fuck. She really was hot as shit. She's now moving to China. You can find her on Facebook. And you can see all the pictures of this on Facebook. That's the crazy part. She stops me. She goes, don't go anywhere. I need 14 kids to teach this class. You're the 14th. I need to teach this class in order to get my master's. So
no, don't speed through this. This is
14 people in a university class
in order to make the class happen.
That's 1/3 of the people in my community college class.
Yep.
That's alarmingly low.
It's the base
She's
minimum.
begging for you to be there.
The base minimum. She goes, if you stay here, I'll just give you a C. And I was like,
deal.
Strasvutia, bitches, I'm back.
See you in June.
Yeah. And so I took, so you got to realize I took Russian 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because it's the same class. Never learned a fucking word because I knew I'd get a C. 2 years of a language. Russian 4 was taught in Russian. Dude,
no
I just
English?
sat there like an immigrant at the DMV, like, and Russian 4, she pulls me aside. She goes, we're taking a trip to Russia. If you want to go, you get a minor. I was like, I can't read, speak. You got to remember, I was taking tests on a language. I was unfamiliar with their alphabet. I'm literally making up hieroglyphics every test. The answer is star #shoe.
Just knowing you'll get a C.
Knowing I'll get a C.
No,
she goes, I can't speak.
in.
She goes, don't worry, I'm fucking well aware of that. If you go, you'll get a minor. I was like, let's go to Russia.
A minor. You will graduate with a minor.
I have a minor in Russian, I think.
I can't read Russian.
Never comes up in comedy.
I call my dad. My dad goes, buddy, go. It's a great life experience. So I go to Russia. This is 1995. Russian mob ran everything. The first night we're there, on the plane trip over, she literally, this same woman sits next to me, teacher, she's just a couple years older than me, sits next to me, opens up her pants on the plane to Prague, and she has $10,000 in her pants. And she's like, we have paid off the mafia to keep the class safe. Because the mob ran everything in Russia then. And I was like, this trip just got fucking awesome. Literally, she's like, in exchange for our money, they give us 2 young gangsters. The word for that in Russian is banditi. They go, these banditi are going to live with you, walk you to class, walk you back from class, take you on field trips, walk you back from field trips. Do not speak to them. They're in the mafia. Do not look at them. Do not engage them. And in my head, I'm like, oh, they're going to be my best fucking friends. First night, I planned a sentence. I was going to say, is a very Strasvutia, меня зовут Bert, очень приятно, я работаю кошка. Which means,
coming on to my girl?
It's a badass.
She's seeing someone.
It means, hello, my name is Bert. Very nice to meet you. I work pussy.
You what?
Well, I work pussy, kind of. It really means
you
I
work pussy?
It really means I work with cats. So,
but it's enough to I tried, but I'm wrong.
Doesn't matter.
No, but to them they're like, that's cute.
Doesn't matter.
We like this guy.
Second door opens. I'm face to face with a real Russian gangster with the wife beater and the tattoos with the track pants and the cigarette. And you gotta remember, I'm a fucking frat boy from Florida State. Fanny pack, fucking
with a C.
Fanny pack, bottle of vodka in one hand, cigarette, pack of Baltica in the other. And literally he just goes, "Что?" And I fucking panicked. And everything I planned on saying flooded out of my head. And all I said to him in Russian in his doorway was, I am the machine. And he laughed hysterically. He was like, because you got to remember, there's no slang in Russia. In communist Russia, there's no such thing as slang. So they had no frame of reference for a man standing at his door going,
I just watched the fucking Narcos on Netflix.
Love it.
And everything they say in the English subtitles is puta.
Yeah.
You have no slang.
There's no slang.
Every motherfucker, cunt, whatever they say is just puta.
It's a default.
Yeah, it's such an easy language to learn, you'd think.
Oh, in Russia, that's my car. That's not my whip. That's not my ride. That's not my rig. That's my hoopty. That's my car. So when you walk at the door and you just look at a gangster, you go, I'm the machine. He takes it literally. He's like, all right, you're the fucking machine. I drank with them all night long, partied all night. All I knew how to say
on
in
a
Russian.
Train, right?
Nope. This is in a hotel.
When they got there
room.
to the hotel, yeah.
And then we did everything together. We ran a pool hall scam. We sold a boat. and then one day we go to Moscow and Igor says to me, he goes, I can't go. That was the guy that opened the door. He goes, I can't go to Moscow. I said, why not? He goes, different mafia runs train, different mafia runs Moscow. I go, well, what's that mean about me? He goes, don't worry. I just set up banditi. They'll take care of you. Sure enough, we get to the train station. He introduces me to my 2 new gangsters, Igor and Igor. And he tells me, he goes, guys, this is the machine. If you give the machine vodka, you'll have a great time. And these 2 guys look like a kid on Christmas. They're like, I can't wait to play with the machine. They fucking grab me, pull me into first class, go to first class. It is pimped out. Here's the real gangster part. Second the train takes off out of the station, everyone that works on the train comes in to pay their respects. The fucking conductor walked in, rips off the stars and stripes of his shirt, places him on my lap and goes, this is a present for the machine. I'm 22 years old going, these machine stores might have got out of control.
I don't even know how to say machine.
No, dude, I literally, because the word is either Yamashina or Yamashinu. One means I'm the man, one means I'm the machine. So
neither of which was the 4 phrases you came up with.
Fucking Bert. We took all the booze in an hour. Big Igor stands up. He goes, machine, we go to the bar cart to get more vodka. Go to the bar cart. I remember him saying...
Hennigan talks about the vodka. He did some like Ukrainian film festival with his short film and talks about the vodka. You don't know it's water. And
it's so quick.
Hammer it. They just hammer it.
That's the reason they love me is all I do all night is fucking shoot vodka with them. And all I knew how to say was, I'm the machine and I fuck cats. So we go to the bar cart and Big Igor said, the new Igor says to me in Russian, he goes, machine, go behind the bar and grab bread. In Russian. And I'm like, I'm fucking learning. Like, I'm learning the language my way, not through flashcards and textbooks, but by joining the mafia.
You knew what he meant.
Yeah. I go behind the bar like, Igor, give me another word. He's like,
I have bread.
I have bread. Give me cheese. He goes, give you cheese? I was like, see it? Cheese. Give me another one. He's like, grab vodka. I was like, I already know one. Give me another one. He's like, grab the money. I'm like, huh? He goes, grab the fucking money. And I realized we're robbing the bar cart, and I'm the one doing it hooked on phonics style. Like, grab the shit, walk out, go back to our first class cabin, and our head chaperone of this train trip, this woman named Val. I shouldn't say her name, but I don't give a fuck. Keep it in.
No lawyers here.
Yeah. She did not speak Russian. That's the most important part of the story, and I'm obsessed with this. She swings open our door with that, like, liberal arts confidence, you know? Like,
I own this place.
Like I've never been to Russia. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Just, this is fucking over. Just screaming. You're done. You're done. And Igor looks at me, takes a big sip of vodka, spits it in her eyes, and goes, no one talks to the machine like that. Shuts the door, and he goes, fuck that bitch. This is Russia. Don't worry, machine. When it gets dark, we have good time. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing when it gets dark? Pulls out a ring of keys, and he goes, we're robbing the whole fucking train.
So fucking good.
And she's like running the fucking American side of your whole trip.
Until she fell asleep, and we robbed the fuck out of her. Because you got to figure out, here's the thing about dirt, about being bad. You got to figure out who you are before you do it. That's why I believe in life. And like, I'll be honest with you. When presented with bad opportunity, I always go, I'm a good person. Man, that night they were like, tonight we robbed the train. I was like, oh, not me. I'm going to go work on my verbs. That's not what I said. Apparently, I'm like, fuck it. Let's start with my class. So we robbed them while we slept. We robbed the whole train. We robbed everybody. Robbed the whole fucking train. If it's any consolation, we robbed me too. And then, by the way, I know how ridiculous this sounds. I know this sounds like a lie. No, so true.
I've been robbed on a European train.
Yes.
And I could only hope there was someone as big-hearted as you.
Here's the worst part. We pull into Moscow, pissed drunk, 6 a.m., sun's up, train stops, door opens, same teacher, not mad. Not mad at all. Literally smiling, opens the door, looks at me and goes, I want to let you know they've alerted the police. I look out. I see my whole class. They're upset. They've been robbed. I get it. Apparently, they've never heard snitches get stitches. and Big Igor just walks out, bottle of vodka in one hand, cigarette in the other, goes up to the cop who's taking a fucking statement, grabs him by the arm, spins around, just goes, fuck you. We, pointing to me, we fuck you in the mouth. We fuck. I'm like, stop with the fucking we shit. now the cop's just staring at me, and I hear him yell, "Pойдем to desk, which I don't even know what that means, but it doesn't sound like you're okay. Stay there. It's a come to Jesus moment. I've had this skydiving. I've had this. I've had this. Have you ever been handcuffed? It's the same feeling. It's the same feeling where you go, oh, I fucked up. I really fucked up. And you turn into your child of yourself. You're like, I don't want to.
Oh, looking in the mirror before you do coke.
Done. That's the fucking thing. And I walk 5 steps from the cop who's standing in front of the class I just robbed, next to the gangster I robbed them with. He takes 2 big ass steps, grabs me tight as fuck by the arm, spins me away from my class, away from Igor, and he goes, "So, I understand you're the machine. Tonight you party with us." I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" I go, "I'm not in trouble." He literally gets so close to me I can smell his morning cigarette, and he goes, "No, fuck that bitch. This is Russia." Dude, I'm telling you when I say this, best story that's ever happened to me in my life. No questions asked. Like, I'm telling you. And you can, and the crazy part is, and I don't know if you do this, Doug, but like you tell a story and you punch it up for the stage and you, but
not since that HBO workspace. That's where I stopped putting any bullshit in my stories. I had the like ecstasy story on my first CD. That was, I didn't actually fuck a watermelon. That was a different time.
But like you get into this place where you go, you tell a story so much on stage, you have a disconnect to it almost where you're like, yeah, that happened to somebody. I know that happened to me, but I tell it on Rogan's podcast and then it kind of goes viral and one of the girls from my class hears it and then posts on my Facebook wall. And in my head, I'm being dead serious when I say this. This is full disclosure. I was like, I lied. I knew it. I just thought I lied. Like I'm getting busted. And she wrote 100%. Bert Kreischer robbed the fuck out of me. And I went, I literally followed her back and then emailed her. I was like, thank you. She was like, what do you mean, thank you? You fucking robbed us. And I was like, I go, no, but I forgot. You forget that it's real almost, you know?
When I was writing the book, like so many of my stories sound like bullshit. So I was trying to make sure everyone could be corroborated by someone that's alive.
Tracy Morgan story, Tony Woods. The Tracy Morgan story I did. Tracy Morgan said that never happened, which I understand. I totally get. But Tony Woods was there. He was there.
I don't know that story. What do you?
I'm not telling that right now. I mean, I'll tell it.
Get the book. We're gonna wrap up.
Yeah,
soon.
Wrap it up. Get the book. It's a great fucking story. But Tony Woods was there, and I remember even then.
It's called The Machine?
What?
Your book.
No, it's called Life of the Party.
Life of the Party.
Sorry. What's your book called? Oh, Digging Up Mother.
Digging Up Mother. To me, it's called the short version of a suicide post-it note. And I had the cover, I had everything the way I wanted it, and they're like, "No, it's too long. Yeah. That's too long."
But you knew you were going to have to compromise.
I have the suicide post-it note. One of the times Mother was balking at suicide, she left this suicide post-it where I showed up at her house, and it's just a post-it. Doug, pain is too much.
It was a pink post-it, right?
Yeah.
Where did I hear that? It's amazing. The truth will set you free.
Will always be better than a lie.
Yep. Wait, Bingo, are you going to read something?
No, he's giving you the book.
To read right now?
No.
Chapter 1.
You're doing the audiobook.
Title, subtitle. You should keep this like this, Bingo.
That's the name of the book. You know what?
Let's wrap it up.
We'll wrap it up. I want to say right now, honestly, Bert, thank you so much for taking the time to come out here.
No. I invited myself
yeah,
out here.
Bert said, I'm sorry, I invited myself. Are you fucking kidding?
This is what it's about. Like, if you have, like, I literally thought to myself, this is going to sound like what a millionaire says. But I go, I know Doug, I know Chaille, I know everyone out there. I know that they like me. I have money. I can book a ticket. Doug's like, I'll have someone pick you up at the airport. I can have them drive you back. I go, it's one day out of my life that it might be one of the more fun days of my life. I was like, why wouldn't I do that? More comics should do this. When I heard that Jesse
dude, right on.
Too,
right like, fucking on.
Cheers. This is what podcasting is about. This is what your life's about. Is this compound where you come out. The best part is obviously going to be when we get done and we go sit up on the roof and fucking hang out.
Build your life, man. Build your life.
That sounds like a
work
Tom
on
Cruise
it.
movie.
Work on it, Bert.
No,
Jesus.
It's better than a Tom Cruise movie.
Really?
It's happening right now in front of you.
Did someone slip me something?
You can try those other pills now that the Adderall is gone. We'll see what those are all about. I was just thinking about editing. We're starting with the end of this with the machine story.
That's fucking brilliant.
This is how the whole thing ended. Get halfway through.
Is this a swapcast? Are we doing
I'd
that?
like to do a swapcast only because this could take up literally 3 of my weeks.
This is you can cut it up. I want to do this straight through. I want to do like one whole fucking supercast. Just like
I
want to release it on the same day, so I want your people.
Eyes are black as charcoal.
You know what I mean?
My people?
No.
I'm my people.
No, I mean, I want. I would like to. We should probably do it on the same day, right?
Yeah. We can coordinate
You guys
that.
figure that out.
Yeah, we can figure that out.
We'll have buyer's remorse tomorrow, but I don't think there's any.
I have none.
No.
I have none.
There were 7 earmarks, but we're not.
I didn't say a word about
leaving
Jay
it.
Moore.
Yeah. Oh, should we do the thing where we pretend we stop recording?
Again?
I'm kidding. Obviously.
Yeah, I know.
Jay, I know you're listening to this. Waiting for us to bring your name up. I did not
With
say
a pen.
fucking negative word.
Licking
No one
his
said
pen,
it.
waiting to write down the comments.
All right, let's have a off the air podcast right now. Do we have anything else? Let me check my notes.
Merch. We're gonna do a quick
Bert
video.
Kreischer as BertBert.com. That's Bert with an E. Bert3times.com. BertBert.com. Santa. Boom. We got that. I took
everything.
notes while I was listening to shit, and we summed that up. And then there's Bert B at the end where I started to write something and stopped because I got distracted. So I have no idea what that note is.
If you told me when I was starting comedy that I'd fly out to Doug Stanhope's house and then not let him talk and just fucking hammer him with my stories, I'd be like, Bert, you need to redial yourself in.
If you told me that I'd own a house back here's just a couple of quick plugs. Someone's trying to get PFE, my old forum back, Pure Fucking Evil.
Oh, yeah.
GoFundMe at Pure Fucking Evil Forever, or / PFE Forever. GoFundMe / no one.
That was constantly shut down from
hang
people
on.
hacking
Merch. Someone sent me the best picture of merch. Is a chick sent me a picture of her wearing a "Abortion is Green" T-shirt, fully preggers, with her belly up, and she goes, "I plan to wear this to abortion rallies as I get more pregnant. I'm going to wear this." And her name was, Steph. I remember her name was Steph.
Bert, 2 of our top selling merch items.
Yeah.
Except for the one that we're trying to get the cease and desist with Pop Bob Presents Doug Stanhope, which they won't sue us. I don't know why. The other 2 are Death of a Salesman with Jesus on the Cross. Big seller in the South.
With a Rolex watch.
And
no, that's Gentrify Bisbee is the ones I gave them.
Oh, that's
it's the
Gentrify, yeah.
communist fist, but it's got a dangling Rolex.
Oh, I
off
like
of
that
it.
one.
Yeah, that's the one I gave.
And
to
the other
hippies.
one
They
is
won't wear it.
Abortion is Green with
Bad
a
for
planet.
business.
I like Abortion is Green.
And it fucking sells.
Really?
It's 2 of our top sellers. At DougStanhope.com, where you can get all of your merch.
But I never realized that bit never actually went on to any DVD. I only did that on Charlie Brooker's thing.
Now you can go on tour.
Hey, look who's on Graham Norton.
Hey, look at this.
Oh, Johnny Depp's on
Your
the Graham
boyfriend.
Norton show.
With my Uncle Jerry.
Oh, with Cumberbatch.
All right,
All right, that's a podcast. Doug has to
That's a
Doug has to
17-hour
watch
podcast.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So much fun.
Thank you. This was a fucking blast.
Bert's going to do a show.
Tap me. I never tapped you.
I'll tap you, Mama. Come on.
Thank you, guys.
I am really turning it off right now. I am putting my finger down to turn things off right now.
Turn it off.
Oh.
Ready?
Go.
1, 2, 3, 7, yeah! Right on, baby. The priest is here, and the casket is ready. Body inside looks nice and steady. Let's play it for the man, for the last time. Play it for the man. Farewell. Play it for the man, for the last time. Play it for the man. Praise the Lord, and we got to go on with the funeral party. 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 Yeah! Alright. Now the priest is talking, and the casket starts to move. Everybody's crying. We all got the groove. Let's play it for the man, for the last time. Play it for the man. Farewell. Play it for the man, for the last time. Play it for the man. Praise the Lord.